Stand up, New York Giant fans. What is going on, everybody? What's going on, Andy Garcia? What's going on, Dr. Grape? What's going on, Spaceballs? Anthony DeSantis, Jack Polak, Cushmaster. I know Clocks is in the house. What's going on, the sports fan? Crispy, Joseph in the house. Thank you guys for being here. JMG, Chris Leone, Nikki Sab, Byron Buxton. What is going on, everybody? Thank you guys for tuning into the stream. We're going to talk football here for a couple hours. Love doing this show. It's a lot of fun. I'll try to get to as many questions as I can. If the stream gets really large, I cannot guarantee I get to everybody's question, but I try my best. What's going on, Christian Clone? What's going on, Nasty Nickel? Thank you for tuning into the stream. What is going on, Rocket Blitz? What's going on, Miss Ladwick? Road Dog in the house. I always like to say hello to everybody. Let the stream fill up a little bit. What's going on? What's going on, Chicken Pasture? Thank you for tuning into the stream, my man. Marjorie is in the house. One of my best. Thank you for being here, Marjorie. I meant to have a Giants video up today. I was going to do the rookie report. I got hung up at work. Went out for a late birthday dinner with my brother. My birthday was last week, but got Mexican tonight. Filled me up. And yeah, now I'm here with you guys. Took a quick shower, and we're live. We're ready to go. What's going on, City for Real? What's going on, Sauce Boys? Bleed Giants, Blue in the house. King Envy in the house. Chicken Pester, Zachary, Johnny Boy. Oh, you gotta go with Coke, man. You gotta go with Coke. Of course, I ate tacos. Well, I got burrito. I got a combo. It was taco, burrito, and it was enchilada. It was all three with black beans. Yeah, I got the Danny Dimes jersey. What's going on? Oh God, Goat, you're killing me with that Dak over Rodgers nonsense. You're killing me with that Dak over Rodgers nonsense. But we're here to talk football, predominantly Giants football. Giants, of course, got off to a slow start this year. They're 2-8. They go into the bye. They got 6 games left. They currently sit in the 3 spot in the draft. So I know, a lot of people are going to want to be talking about the draft. They're going to want to be talking about free agency. Our upcoming schedule, we got the Bears, we got the Packers, we got the Eagles twice, we got the Dolphins, and we've got the Redskins. So some winnable games mixed in there. I think this week's a winnable game, actually, with Trubisky probably out. I think it's a game we could potentially win. I'm probably not going to pick us, but I think we could potentially win. We'll see how it all plays out. We're 2-8, and like I said in my last video, it's going to be interesting. Some fans are going to want the Giants to lose out. Some fans are going to want the Giants to play, as hard as they can and try to win all 6 games. So I never judge fans. That's what I always say. What's going on, Slurpee? Cut that moss. The moss will be cut soon. It will be cut. Hopefully tomorrow, actually. I'm hoping to have it cut, man. The Bears are garbage. The Bears are definitely beatable. What's going on, Vance? Thank you for tuning in to the stream. Old Spice body. Clocks. Chris, give me your acceptable stats for Jones Sunday. I mean, Clocks, we've had this discussion. They're playing the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears have one of the best defenses in football. You've got a rookie quarterback with half of his offensive line is out. I don't think Nate Solder's going to play. He has a concussion. I could be wrong on that, but I don't believe he's going to play. Jalapio's banged up. So half his O-line's out. Saquon Barkley, we'll see, but has not been 100% the last 2 or 3 weeks. We'll see if Sterling Shepard plays. I don't think he should. Sterling Shepard, of course, dealing with those concussions. I think it would be in his best interest to not play in this game. Evan Engram seems to want to play as well. We'll see if these guys play, but even if they play, they're not 100%. So I am not going to expect Daniel Jones to go out there and have a good game on Sunday. I just don't think it's practical. If he does, well, that's a cherry on top. I don't expect that. I mean, acceptable. If he doesn't turn the football over, if he doesn't throw an interception, it's acceptable. I don't care if he throws for 150 yards going up against that defense on the road with the guys that are out. I don't expect Daniel Jones to have a great statistical game. I mean, the Chicago Bears are one of the best defenses in football. So, Giants, to have a shot in that game, are going to have to run the football. They're going to have to run it effectively, much like they did last year when Saquon Barkley had a huge game. So, all I'm looking for Daniel Jones in this game, don't turn the football over. That's it. Let's go. Should they shut down Shepard? I think they should shut down Shepard. I said that a couple of weeks ago, Chad. I think that they should have shut down Shepard. He's already had 2 concussions this year. He's missed, he's had 2 concussions. He's missed, half the season? He had 5 concussions in college. I don't see the point in rushing him back. It doesn't make any sense to me. There's no point. I hope he's healthy, and I hope if he does decide to play, he doesn't have this, be a reoccurring problem. But there's no reason to rush him back this year. I honestly don't want to see him in the lineup. I don't think it's worth it. What's going on, Gil Soto? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. Thank you to everybody for being here. Emmanuel, there's your shout out, man. Thanks for being here, my man. My man, Rudy T. How much of DJ's turnover issues are his fault versus the lack of O-line protection? That's a great question, Rudy T. Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys are subscribed to Fist Vegas. We did a podcast together, and I kind of talked about that on the podcast regarding Daniel Jones' turnovers. Now, rookie quarterbacks are going to turn the football over, right? He had fumbling problems in college, and a lot of the fumbles are his fault. Some of the fumbles are the offensive line's fault. Make no mistakes about it. But I do think some of the sacks that he is taking are his fault. And that's normal for a rookie quarterback. I think at times he holds onto the ball too long, and I think at times he doesn't do a good job of reading the defense. He doesn't have good pre-snap adjustments, doesn't see the blitz coming, things of that nature, doesn't make the right audible. So I'm not going to blame the offensive line entirely. I think Daniel Jones does take some fault there, but you expect that with a rookie quarterback, and he'll have to learn as he goes. So that's one thing, another thing that I think he needs to work on. But that's normal. You know, you expect the rookie quarterback to have to work on pre-snap adjustments, reading the cover two, things of that nature. Let's see what we got here. What's going on, Raymond? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. Thank you to everybody for being here. I do appreciate it. Dak or Wentz, Victor Jimenez. I mean, right now you got to go Dak. I mean, Wentz looks like a lost puppy dog, as I always like to say. Looks like a shell of himself. He is, 5-6 last year. He's 5-5 this year. So, I mean, with a team that supposedly was a 13-3 football team this year, that's all I heard from every Eagle YouTuber. Carson Wentz, over his last 2 years now, is 10-11 as a starting quarterback. And he's not putting up the numbers. I don't know all his stats. I know he missed maybe a game due to injury. I think he hasn't turned it over a lot. But he's certainly not putting the team on his back, and he's not the quarterback he once was. That's for sure. Oh, Obi-Wan Kenobi, thank you so much, man, for the $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. He says, your favorite Cowboy fan is here. I got a lot of great Cowboy subscribers, but you are definitely one of them, man. Thank you for all your love and all your support on the channel, man. I really do appreciate it. And I'll try to get to the next one. When Jones is on, that's just a statement. Who is the best player in the Giants? Miss Ladwick says. I mean, it's got to be Saquon Barkley when he's healthy. It's got to be. Saquon Barkley, I still think, is the most talented running back in football. I can't say he's the best yet because he doesn't have the productivity, right? He was hurt this year. He really only played 2 good weeks. Last year, he was terrific. He showed why the Giants took him second overall. I can't say that he's the best running back in football right now, but I think he's the most talented, and I think he is the best player in the New York Giants. I don't even think it's close, to be honest with you. I gotta go Saquon. Let's see. What's going on, Anthony? Thank you for popping in the stream, my man. We need a better offense. Absolutely. One thing about this team, who said that? Desmoni Newman said we need better offensive, defensive scheming. One thing this team has really struggled with this year has been halftime adjustments. They don't come out good either, right? Every game, it seems, we fall behind by 10 points, 14 points within the first 10, 12 minutes of the game. And then they play a little catch-up. They play a little better in the second quarter. They catch back up. But it doesn't seem like they're prepared specifically on defense. To start the year, I remember they scored a touchdown on their first drive against the Cowboys. They scored a touchdown on their first drive against the Bills. And then they just looked completely lost after that. But the last 3, 4, 5 weeks, it seems like we're in the hole right away. Down 10, down 14. And we do not come out with a good game plan. And then at halftime, we don't make the proper adjustments most of the time. A lot of our problems is coaching on both sides of the football. Make no mistakes about it. Yeah, MH. Is Solder playing? To be honest with you, I've not looked into it yet. I have not looked at the injury report. I would think probably not. He did have a concussion. I don't see the reason to rush him back. He sucks to begin with. But he might. You know, I honestly don't know yet. I hope he does, because he's got to be better than whoever we're going to have out there. And you really want to protect Daniel Jones in this game against the Chicago Bears, because they're going to be coming. And this is a great test for Daniel Jones this week. Again, I don't expect great stats, but it's a good test for Daniel Jones to see how he stands in terms of reading the defense, dealing with pressure. Mike McCarthy. I would love Mike McCarthy. I think Mike McCarthy's a really good coach. As I've said in a lot of my previous videos, I don't see the Giants making a coaching change this year, though I just don't see it. We may want it all we want. I know 87% of Giants fans want it. As I said in my video, there was a poll taken. Doesn't matter. The Giants are going to do what they want to do. What's going on, Chris Gonzalez? Thank you for tuning in the stream. Big Move Life says, Chris, Do you feel that Daniel Jones tries too hard to make big plays and be the hero, similar to Saquon last year? What's going on, LA Yankee King? Thank you for tuning in the stream. Great question by one of my best subscribers, Big Blue for Life. I think, especially the last 2 or 3 weeks, him and Saquon specifically have tried to do way too much in these football games. I completely agree with that. But Barkley even more so than Daniel Jones. But I feel like they feel the need to put the team on their back. So yeah, I agree with you on that. I think Daniel Jones sometimes has to take the loss. Same with Saquon Barkley. Throw the ball out of bounds. That interception he had, it wasn't against the Jets. I think it was the game before where he threw it up. It was like a 3rd and long late in the game, and he throws a pick. Should have just thrown it out of bounds. He's got to learn when to take his losses. And he'll learn that as he gets older, hopefully. What's going on, Lake Nona? Thank you for tuning in the stream. Jared Williams, the earth is flat. My beer, Emmanuel, I didn't have the beer. I no beer tonight. I drank too much beer last night. I'm drinking water tonight. What's going on, Raphael? Stand up. What's your take on Nick Gates? Nick Gates, a lot of people liked him. PFF said he had a good game last week. We'll see if he gets another opportunity. Do I think he's a long-term answer? Probably not. I think the Giants are going to have to draft offensive linemen early and often. I don't really see any guy. When you look at the free agency list for offensive linemen, Conklin's the big name. Everybody talks about him. Darrell Williams is another name. Darrell Williams sucks this year. I was looking at his PFF grade. He has a 58 this year. So he's not an option. Costanzo's a possibility. Costanzo from the Colts is a possibility, but he's 32. So I don't want to sign him to a long-term contract, but he's having a really good year for the Colts. If the Colts let him hit the open market, he's got a 82 for a PFF grade, so he's a guy I'd probably look at. But I don't look at Nick Gates as a long-term answer on the offensive line. Can you? Yeah, so here you go. Take a sip. Take a sip. What would you think about trading Engram? Good question. I don't think they're going to do it. Ingram's still on a cost-effective contract. He's making $3.44 million. I think 3.42, 3 point something next year. I don't see it. I don't think they trade Evan Engram. I would be shocked. Now, they may let Engram walk the following year. That is certainly a possibility. They would get a comp pick in return. So, but I don't think they'll trade him. I really don't. Oh, Danny Thomas, man. Thank you so much, man, for the $5 super chat. Bends the knees. He says we need to draft 2 or 3 O-linemen. Build the O-line. Yeah. I mean, that's common sense. I mean, I'm completely with you. And thank you again, Danny Thomas, for the love, man. I've been saying that since I've been on YouTube. The Giants' biggest problem for years, and I know everybody likes to blame Eli Manning. He's the easy target, and I'm not saying he wasn't part of the problem. But for years, even when they won that second Super Bowl with Eli, the offensive line wasn't great. Has been the offensive line. They need to focus on that, and they need to draft early in this year's draft. They need to get a tackle. That's something that they have not done a good job with in the past. When they've drafted offensive linemen in the first round, Eric Flowers, bust. Justin Pugh didn't live up to where he was selected. So Richburg was okay. So they have to hit. If they take Andrew Thomas, they have to hit. So I think that they're going to spend a lot of draft picks on offensive line this year. They kind of neglected that this draft because I think they wanted to focus on the defense, being that the draft this year was a heavy defensive draft. There was a lot of talent on the defensive end. So I think that's why the Giants steered that way. This year, they got to come back to the offensive line, and they got to draft early and often at that position. Oh, thank you. Oh, Vig, what's going on, Vig? What's going on, my man? That's one of my brother's best friends, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you at the bachelor party, my man. $5 super chat, bends the knees. Thanks for popping in, man. Obi-Wan Kenobi, let me get that super chat right there. A $2 super chat, you can't forget about it. He says, if Dak is playing, we'll say Dinkin and Dakin. Yeah, Dinkin and Dakin, man. But Big, man, I'm glad to see you're in here, man. Thank you for being a great supporter of the channel, man. I appreciate that, and great guy, man. You're a great guy, man. Thank you, Jared Williams. Alex Sports says, I think we're going to need a top 3 pick to get. I completely agree with you, Alex Sports. I don't think we're going to get the 4th pick. I don't think we get Chase Young. Now, some people may argue the Washington Redskins are going to want Andrew Thomas. They need to get a left tackle, right, to support Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins needs all the help he can get, especially on the offensive line. Oh, let me get that super chat real quick. But I just want to answer that question. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna get. I honestly don't think that we will get Chase Young unless we are ahead of the Redskins. I don't see the Redskins passing up Chase Young. I think that the Dolphins and the Bengals will probably go quarterback, and we'll end up with Andrew Thomas. That's my guess right now. That could change. One Giant reply. If you guys have not done so, if you are a Giants fan and you are not subscribed to OGR, what are you waiting for? The guy's near 400. Let's get him to 400. Go over there and subscribe. He's a great supporter of my channel, and he's a great content creator. $5 Super Chat bends the knees. He says, my man, you still got that more. I'm getting it tomorrow. I'm getting the haircut tomorrow, OGR. I promise. I've been so backed up with YouTube, with work, with everything else, but I'm going to the barbershop tomorrow morning. We're going to get it cut tomorrow morning. But he says, what happened to the haircut? You always do a great job with the Q&A. Do you think Daniel gets the rookie TD record? Great question. And I saw Bad Dog make a video on that today. Of course, Mayfield set the record last year with 27. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, what has he got? 15? 14, 15? So he needs, I think he needs 14. I think he needs 13 or 14 to break the record with 6 games to go. When you look at the Giants' remaining schedule, you've got the Bears, really good defense. I don't see him throwing more than 1, maybe 2 touchdowns, but probably 1. The Eagles have a pretty good defense. They play them twice. The Redskins and the Dolphins, though, he could certainly beat up on. So he's going to be close. He's going to throw at least 24, 25. I don't know if he breaks it. I don't think he wins Rookie of the Year regardless, because I just think this class is so talented. Jacobs has been phenomenal. Kyler Murray's putting up numbers. But Jones has been as good as we could have hoped for outside of the fumbling issues. But for a rookie quarterback, Daniel Jones has had a really good year, and I hope he breaks it. You know, it would be fun to see if he could break that. That's something to look forward to for the second half of the year. Definitely one of the storylines. Be concerned about wins. Exactly, Victor Jimenez. What are the chances the Giants beating the Packers? Well, Chris, that game is at home. So the Packers are coming here. And the Packers, I love the Packers this year, all right? I was a nut job, okay? I was probably the only person on YouTube, on ESPN, on CBS Sports. I picked the Packers to go to the Super Bowl. Everybody knows, if you watch my channel, I'm a big Packers fan this year. I love them coming into the season. I love their off-season acquisitions. So I love the 2 pass rushers that they brought in and Amos in the secondary. Aaron Rodgers has not played as well as I thought he would this year. He's still playing good, but he hasn't been, Aaron Rodgers. Part of that probably has to do with the new system. LaFleur usually takes a second year to adjust. Our chances of beating the Packers at home, slim and none. I honestly don't see it. Aaron Rodgers is going to tear our defense to shreds, and they got a great running back over there in Jones who's been tearing everybody up. I just don't see our defense putting up enough points to beat the Packers. Our offense, rather, to be able to stick with that team. I just don't see it. No. Maybe 5-10% max. Should we get Joe Schobert? Listen, I love Schobert, the middle linebacker for the Cleveland Browns. He's one of the... I'm going to do a video on him, Chris Gonzalez. He's one of my favorite free agents in this year's class. If you guys haven't done so, look at highlights on this kid. He's a very good middle linebacker. He's got good lateral quickness. He breaks on the run very well. He's 26 years old. He fits the age of this team. I would love Schobert. I don't know if he's going to be available. Cleveland could certainly franchise him, or they could sign him to a long-term deal. But if it's the open market, he's a guy I'm interested in. Oh, David Bigelow, thank you so much, man, for the $2 Super Chat. You can forget about it. He says, any problem trading back a high first-round pick? I have no problems whatsoever if the price is right. When the Giants had the second pick, when they took Saquon Barkley, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I wasn't on YouTube then. I love Saquon Barkley, and if they stood at 2, I wanted Barkley. Barkley's my favorite Giant. I love him. He was unbelievable at Penn State. But my first option, if I was Dave Gettleman, if the right package presented itself, would have been to trade down, and it's the same thing in this draft. Unless I get Chase Young. Chase Young is, a generational talent. But, yes, if the right package is there, I absolutely trade down. You get as many assets as you can. We have so many holes. Oh, let me get to these Super Chats real quick. Thank you guys so much, man. Thank you guys for love, man. Bones with a $5. Bones, man. Is that Bones? That was awesome. I got to meet Bones at the at the tailgate, man. $5 Super Chat, Ben's and East. He said, expecting the worst, but hoping for the best this Sunday. Go Big Blue. Would also be nice if Eli sweeps the Eagles on the farewell game if he starts. How great would that be to see Eli Manning make his last start against the Philadelphia Eagles and we knock them down? We haven't beaten the Eagles, I think, since 2016. That's one game I want to win. Now, I got a hypothetical for everybody in the chat, and then I'm going to get to yours, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I got a hypothetical for everyone in the chat. I know there's a lot of Giants fans that want to lose out to get Chase Young. But last week of the season, If we have a chance, an opportunity to knock the Eagles out of the playoffs, and if by doing so we drop 3 or 4 spots in the draft, you cannot tell me you don't want to win that football game. You can't let the Eagles into the playoffs. You can't do it. That's our Super Bowl if that opportunity presents itself. Obi-Wan Kenobi with a $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. He says, hold on, let me get that. Do you think that Daniel Jones will be a Super Bowl quarterback later? A lot of that is going to depend, and thank you again for this. Thank you, all you guys, for all the love, man. Thank you guys for being here. But a lot of that's going to depend on the surrounding parts. Are they going to improve the offensive line? Are they going to, is Saquon Barkley going to remain healthy? Are they going to get him wide receivers? Are they going to improve the defense? It's gonna depend on the surrounding parts like they did with Eli Manning. They provided Eli Manning with a great offensive line. He had a great pass rush. That's what they got to do for Daniel Jones. If they can do that, I see no reason why he can't win us a Super Bowl. Oh, man, Owen Ryan, thank you so much, man, for the $5 super chat. Benzinese, he says, do we see Eli one more time to maybe take a knee at the end of the season? Listen, I would love nothing more than Eli Manning to either take a knee at the end, get a ceremony in the middle. Here's my thing with Eli Manning, and I think Eli Manning has displayed this his entire career. He's not one of these guys that's for ceremonial things, right? We remember when he was going to be benched for Geno Smith, they offered to let him start the game so he didn't have to snap his streak. Eli has a lot of pride, and I don't think he wants like this ceremonial start. He wants to be the guy. I don't see Eli doing that. I think he'll definitely get a ceremony at halftime or before the game of the last game of the season. Maybe he takes the first snap. I don't know, but I don't see Eli doing that. I honestly don't. I would love to see it, though. Rafael Puentes, thank you so much, man, for the $2 super chat. You can forget about it. He says, give us 5 key free agents for the Giants, Tana. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to start on the team. Leonard Williams, Marcus Golden, that's their first key. They have to decide. And by the way, guys, I'm not trying to miss anybody's questions. I'm just trying to answer these questions as in-depth as I possibly can, as quickly as I possibly can to get to your guys' questions. So don't think I'm ignoring anybody. But the first key to free agency is deciding those 2 players. The Giants, of course, traded a 3rd and a 5th round pick to bring in Leonard Williams. If they bring him in, that 5th turns into a 4th. So that's their first key decision, right? Leonard Williams. I think they're going to keep him. All signs point to that Leonard Williams will remain with the Giants. And now the second guy is going to be Marcus Golden. And the more I think about it, I know a lot of Giants fans love Marcus Golden, and he's been great this year. But when you look at his PFF numbers, he's really not that impressive. I know he's got really good sack numbers, and I like Marcus Golden. I was very happy when they brought him in. I wouldn't bring him back. Not for the money I think he's going to command. I wouldn't. Not with his injury history. If you could get him on a really a short-term contract, yes. But if it's a 3 or 4 year deal, I wouldn't bring him back. I honestly wouldn't. I would look elsewhere for a guy with less injury history in free agency, in the draft, things of that nature. So those are the first 2 key free agents. Then on the open market, Shepard was already mentioned. If he's available, he's a guy I really like, the middle linebacker. Offensive tackle, I'm looking at a Costanzo if he becomes available. Obviously, Darrell Williams, we've all heard about. Conklin, those are the big names there at the tackle spot. The center I haven't done a lot of research on yet. Wide receiver, I'm not really focused on. It's offensive line and pass rusher for me. The guy from the Jaguars escaped my head right now. Ngakoue. That's another guy I'd really be interested in, the pass rusher from the Jaguars. So there's certainly some guys that are there who may be of interest. Those are some of the key names that I would be interested in if they hit the open market. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, Ngakoue, yeah. We all know Barkley's hurt, but when he's 100%, how do you think he will do? When Barkley's 100%, he's the best running back. He's the most talented running back in the sport. Just block for him. Oh, man. Oh, Bobby, man. Thank you so much, man, for the love. $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. Eli has earned my respect. Much respect from Boston. If you guys haven't gone over to that channel, Bobby is a great supporter of all the Giants creators, and he's a great guy, So going over there and check out Bobby's channel, man, and thank you for the love, man. And yeah, man, Eli Manning's a class act. How could you not like Eli Manning? Let's see what we got here. What about Calais Campbell? He's a little up there in age, Chad. Depends on the contract. Chris, do you think Rosas will be replaced? Of course, Chris Sonor asked me the Rosas question. Of all people. Chris Sonor, one of my best subs. Been with me forever. Is in all my streams. Love that kid. Rosas, will he be replaced? I think a lot of Rosas' problems right now are mental. He's missed, I think, 3 extra points, 2 or 3 field goals. He's been really bad. He could be replaced. He definitely could be. I don't know. You know, kickers are a year-to-year thing. Rosas was great last year. I think he was 32 or 33. He definitely could be replaced. I don't know, though. I'd probably hold on to him for one more year. Being that we're probably not going to be a playoff team next year anyway, he's still relatively young, and he's shown that he can be really good. I'd probably give Rosas one more year. Maybe bring in another kicker to compete with him in camp. But he's definitely been a big problem this year, Rosas. A huge problem. He's missed a bunch of kicks. Eli's Tom Brady's not. You're damn right he is, Batista. Is Daniel Jones's pocket presence a concern? I think it was Patrick Peterson blitzing 20. Yeah, West Coast, great question. He's a rookie, right? So, yes, it's a concern, but he's a rookie. So a lot of rookies are not going to have the best pocket presence. But yeah, that's definitely been a problem of his. He doesn't sense the blitz as well as he should. He doesn't have great pre-snap reads. He's not good at reading the cover two yet, but these are all things I expect from a young quarterback. So I'm not concerned with I always say this. I don't judge a quarterback until the second year. And Daniel Jones has shown me the tools. He has the tools to be a great quarterback. I really believe that. I don't know if he's going to be able to be the whole package yet. I can't fully evaluate him yet, but he has the tools to be a very, very, very good quarterback. But he needs to improve some things, and that's one of them. He's got to improve that pocket presence. Has to feel the blitz better than he has. I'll agree with that. And that attributes to a lot of his fumbles. What coach do you think should be the Giants' coach? I mean, in a perfect world, Bill Belichick. But if we're talking not fantasy land, I really think I don't even think it's worth answering because I really think Shermer's going to be back. I'd be surprised if he's not. And if he's not, you're not going to get the guy that you want. I promise you that. You will not get Harbaugh. You will not get Lincoln Riley. Those guys are not coming to this team right now. I guarantee it. But I honestly can't answer that right now. I honestly think he's going to be back. Oh, Bobby, thank you so much, man, for the $2 super chat. You can forget about it. Good morning to you, Kyle Petrano. He says, McCarthy would make sense, Lake Nona. Chris, what's the Giants' biggest need in the draft? Giants' biggest need in the draft, Bobby, and thank you again for the love, man. It is either pass rusher or offensive tackle. It's that simple. Those are their two biggest needs. Middle linebacker, safety is our needs as well. Those would be my four biggest needs. Those are the areas that I want them to address with the early picks in this year's draft. Depending on what they do in free agency. If they go out there and they add a Shepard, well, we don't need a middle linebacker anymore. If they go out there and they add two offensive linemen in free agency, well, we're probably not going to spend early picks on an offensive lineman. So a lot of that is going to be answered by free agency, being that the Giants are going to have about $70 million in cap space. So we'll see what they do there. But, right now, if the roster was as is going into the draft, I would say offensive line, number one, because you have a young quarterback. You got to protect him, and then pass rusher. What is going on, Bavi? Thank you for tuning in the stream, my man. Do you think Daniel Jones' arm strength is a concern? No. I'm not concerned with the ER, to be completely honest. I'm not saying he has Aaron Rodgers' arm strength, Brett Favre arm strength, but he's got enough. He's definitely got enough. He makes the throws that need to be made. What's going on, Yusuf? Thank you for tuning in the stream. Predictions for the Bears game. I think we're going to lose. It's in Chicago. I know that they're banged up, but I don't see us winning that game in Chicago. I'll say we lose by a touchdown. I'll go 17-10. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game. Good defense over there. 17-10 Bears. What's going on, DJB? How do you... Oh, man, GQ boys, thank you so much. Let me just answer KV's question first. How do you think Julian Love is going to do? I'm excited to see what Julian Love has. I hope he starts. By all accounts, he's been getting first-team reps in practice. He'll probably struggle, like most rookies do in their debut games, but it's about experience. So I think he could be a good safety. I don't think he could be a good exterior cornerback. I don't think he possesses the speed. That's everything you hear. He could develop into a good slot corner or a good safety. So we'll see how he looks in the safety spot because I think that's where he's going to be playing. And GQ boys, man, thank you so much, man, for the $5 super chat. Bends the knees. He says, I think if the Giants had a defense like the Bears or Vikings, they would be competing for the division, and Daniel Jones would be the front runner for Rookie of the Year. I completely agree with you. If they had a top 3 defense in the sport, yeah, they'd be right there with the Cowboys and the Eagles. I agree with that. Because the Cowboys' defense is disappointing. They're not as good as I thought they were going to be. The Eagles are just not that good. And that's what's encouraging going into next year, by the way. The Cowboys and Eagles are not nearly as good as people thought they were. Going into the year, a lot of people had the Cowboys as a 12-4 team, the Eagles as a 13-3 team. They're not that good. So we're not as far away as a lot of people may have thought going into the year because those teams are not that good. They're pretty good, but they're not like world beaters. So I agree with you. If we had a much better defense, we'd be able to compete with those teams. I agree with that. But we're not right now. We're like a bottom 3 defense, so we got a lot to work on there. Let's go. Hey, Asia, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in the stream. Tana, I'm too young to understand when I'll be out of misery being a Giants, Mets, and Knicks fan as well. Ryan, those are my 3 teams, man. Get ready for a lot of misery. But when it happens, when the Mets finally win, when the Knicks finally win, it's going to be the best feeling in the world. So I always say this. I got a lot of friends that are Yankee fans. I'm a Met fan. And Yankee fans, they're on easy street. They complain. They haven't won a World Series in 10 years, and they're complaining like the sky's falling down. They make the playoffs every year, okay? The Mets make the playoffs 4 times, 5 times, whatever it's been since I've been watching the team. Haven't won a World Series since I've been watching. When they finally win, it's going to feel like 20 Yankee World Series. So just hang on. When we get that championship, it's going to be worth it. Let's go. Mets will get Anthony Rendon. I hope they get it. I hope they get Rendon. That'd be great. If the Giants get rid of Gettleman, which GM do you have in mind? And I agree, the Mets aren't that bad. I don't think they're going to get rid of Gettleman. I just don't. I haven't even thought about GMs because I know Gettleman's going to be back. They're not getting rid of him this year. They might get rid of him the following year. And if that's the case, it's possible the Giants bring in a coach like a Harbaugh who would want complete control. You probably have a GM, but he's more like a yes man, and Harbaugh is the kind of like the GM. So I could see something like that. But next year, Gettleman's going to be back. Let me just get a sip of water, and we'll get back to the chat. Getting a little dry throat. But this chat is moving and grooving. We only been on for a half hour. You guys asking great questions. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being great supporters of the channel. This is one of my favorite things on YouTube. I love doing the Q&As. Get a chance to talk with you guys. Talk Giants football. And it's great. And tomorrow night, we're going to be doing Talking Giants on the channel as well with Bad Dog. So I hope to see you guys there for that as well. Slurpee, I love you, my man. Victor Jimenez says, your thoughts on Dak for MVP? I think he's in the consideration, but I don't think he'll win. I think Russell Wilson's the clear favorite. Lamar Jackson's probably above him, but he's in the top 5. He's in consideration, but he won't win it. Will Jenkins be here next year? I certainly hope not. He makes way too much money. $14.75 million for a lackluster corner. No, I don't want him back here. Please don't bring him back here. Jets fan here, and I would love either of these guys for us, but think they would fit the Giants as well. The chance to draft them. Who would you prefer, Young or Andrew Thomas? That's a great question, Michael. Young or Andrew Thomas? That's the question on all Giants fans' minds. And I personally think tackle's a bigger need for the Giants, but I think Young is too good to pass up. I think Young is, you're getting like a Myles Garrett type talent. You can't pass on it. So I would have to take Chase Young in that scenario. But I'm going to be smile ear to ear if we get Andrew Thomas. Oh, John Smith, man, thank you so much, man, for the $5 super chat. Bends the knees. He says, Raiders are a perfect example of how coaching and good culture can turn a team around. Spot on, man. And they gave John Gruden the keys to the car. They said, and thank you again, John, for the love. They said you could be the coach, you could be the GM, and everybody called him crazy. John Gruden goes in there, and he trades away Khalil Mack. And everybody's going nuts. They say, what are you doing? Look at it now. So when you get a smart guy in there who knows what he's doing, you can flip a team real quick. And that's why I'd be really interested in Harbaugh. But there's no way Harbaugh's coming here if Gettleman's here. And I like Gettleman. I'm not saying fire Gettleman. But, yeah, you're absolutely right, man. It could happen within a year. Jerry Jeudy or Jerry. I would go Jerry Jeudy in that scenario. I'm not a huge receiver guy, but in that scenario, I'm going Jerry Jeudy. Afghanistan says O-line was great at the start of the year, but it's fallen off since. Maybe the offensive line the offensive line coach. Yeah, Afghanistan. That's a great point you bring up, and I could see them making a change there. If the Giants are going to make changes, I think it's going to be on the secondary coaches. It's going to be on the offensive line coach. It's going to be on the offensive coordinator. James Betcher. I don't see the head coach getting fired, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but the O-line coach could certainly be replaced. That's a great call, and thank you for being a great subscriber, Afghanistan. Would you draft Grant Delpit and put your... Not where we're going to be drafting. I love Delpit, but we're probably going to be top 4. I'm not taking him there. If we were picking 8, 9, or 10, yeah. But not at 4. No. How many years will it take to fix this team? Well, Eric, a lot of that's going to come down to if they continue to draft well, It's going to come down to if they bring in the proper free agents. Do they overpay for guys like a Nate Solder, guys way past their prime, or do they stay with the plan? Do they bring in guys that are 25, 26 years old with an upside? This offseason is so vital for the New York Giants. A lot of people said last offseason. This offseason, to me, is probably the most important offseason in over 10 years for the New York Giants. Because you have cap space, you're going to have a high draft pick, and you cannot mess this up. You've got a young quarterback going into his second year. You've got to get him the pieces he needs to succeed, which is better offensive line and a better defense. So this is such a big offseason. And if the Giants do the right thing, if they draft well, if the players they drafted this year and the year before continue to mature, and they bring in some good free agents, they could be a lot better next year. I'm not saying they're winning a Super Bowl, but they could be a lot better. What's going on, Alex Sports? What's going on, Fun with Education? Thank you for tuning in the stream, man. Does Ogletree get traded on draft night? And they're not getting a fourth rounder for him. It's possible he gets traded. They gave up a fifth rounder to get him, and he sucks. We're not getting a fourth for him. And he makes way too much money. You'll be lucky to get a seventh. You'll be lucky to be able to get a team to take Alec Ogletree. So maybe you could trade him, but you're not getting a fourth. Who do you think we will sign and draft? Who do you think we will sign? It's hard for me to say right now. I mean, I think we're going to keep Leonard Williams. I'll say that. I think we're going to sign Leonard Williams. After that, I can't give you names right now because there's a lot of teams with cap space. But I think they're going to attack the offensive line, the center and the offensive tackle position in free agency. And, maybe not both, but they'll look at both those positions and edge rusher and potentially a safety. I could see them going those routes. I can't give you names because I don't know who, I don't know who's going to be there for the Giants. Oh, John Smith, man, thank you again, man, for the love, man. $5 super chat. Ben Zanese, he says, I think it's inevitable we switch to the 4-3. Carter fits the LB mold better than pass rusher. Let Williams line up on the edge with Dex and Tomlinson inside. I made that point in my video. And John, thank you again for the super chat. I made a video a little while ago that we may switch to the 4-3, right, if we draft young. And I think it makes sense because I think that he is capable of playing on the outside. Talking about a Leonard Williams. I think he is. And I think we have the guys that could play in the middle in a 4-3. I think that Dexter Lawrence has demonstrated he could play in a 4-3 in the middle. He's not necessarily a nose guard. We've seen him line up on the outside and make noise. So he's definitely athletic enough to play in a 4-3. He's not a typical nose tackle. I like Dalvin Tomlinson a lot. I hope they hold on to him. O'Shane Zimenez could play on the exterior as well. He played 4-3 in college. And I think in that scenario, Lorenzo Carter would stay at the outside linebacker position. He doesn't have enough meat on his body to play a traditional D-end in a 4-3. But I think Zimenez does. So I think Zimenez is a fine fit for a 4-3. The only guy I worry about is Carter. Would he be able to play in the 4-3 at the outside linebacker position? But the other guys I think would be fine. It's Carter that I worry about. But Carter hasn't been good to begin with. So would you consider Shaq Barrett? Probably not for what he's going to cost. The guy's only had 1 year of productivity. I don't think he's going to be worth what he's going to get. Let's see what we got here. What if Gettleman makes another Daniel Jones type pick? Well, he's not going to draft the quarterback, but if you mean an off-the-wall pick, I mean, it better hit. Otherwise, he'll be fired. If Daniel Jones hits, Gettleman looks like a genius. So you always got to give him. I was pissed on draft night, right? I'm a fan. I'm a reactionary fan. I was emotional. But you always got to give him the benefit of the doubt and see how it plays out before you say that the guy's got to be fired. I was wrong when I said that the night of the draft. But, yeah, you got to see how it plays out. You got to give him a chance. So we'll see. I don't think they will, though. I think they're going to be picking top 3 or 4. A quarterback's not a possibility. So I can't see how they don't either go, it depends on the combine, everything else, potential injuries, or they could possibly trade down. But if Chase Young's there, they're taking Chase Young. And Andrew Thomas probably going to take him if he's there. So I honestly don't see it happening. Maybe they could reach on a Jerry Jeudy. I suppose that's an off-the-wall pick there that early. Maybe. Who's more athletic, Laramie Tunsil or Dexter? Dexter Lawrence is a freak. I mean, they're all really athletic for their positions. I love Dexter Lawrence. I think Dexter Lawrence is good. He's the Giants' best player per PFF this year. He's been phenomenal. I want Chase. Yeah, I think we all want Chase Young badly, man. Do you see Odell back in New York? No, never. Do you think Daniel Jones will pick number future draft reactions? I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know. Are you saying, do you think Daniel Jones will see my draft reaction? I don't know what you meant by that. Amir says 2020 free agency: Conklin, Simmons, Corey Littleton. I like Littleton. That's another guy I didn't mention, the linebacker. He's a guy we could look at as well. What's going on, Joe Lutz? Giants Pride says our record and draft pick after the season ends. Made a video on that. I got the Giants going 4-12, and I think we're going to be picking 4th. That's my prediction. Afghanistan, yeah, thumbs up the stream. If you haven't done so, please hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell. Thank you guys for being the best supporters on YouTube. I will be live again tomorrow night, giving you more Giants live coverage, talking Giants with Bad Dog. So that's always a great show. Looking forward to getting that back up and running. We took a week off with the bye, so he'll be back on tomorrow. And I love doing this. This is my favorite thing to do on YouTube. Oh, Big Kane, thank you so much, man, for the $5 super chat. Benzanese says, do you feel we regret trading Odell Beckham knowing that he wasn't the problem and our wide receivers couldn't stay on the field this year? I mean, Odell Beckham is a supreme talent. I think we all know the reason why we traded Odell Beckham, if we're being fair. And we could agree or disagree until the cows come home. I think the Giants saw they were drafting a quarterback. They didn't know if that quarterback was going to be able to grow with the type of player that Odell Beckham is. If you love Odell Beckham, you still have to admit he's a diva. And it's very hard for a young quarterback to deal with that. So I think that's why they traded him. That's my honest opinion. I don't think the Giants regret trading him. What has Odell Beckham done with Cleveland? The guy's got 1 touchdown. I mean, Cleveland's 4-6. They went into the year as a potential Super Bowl team. So the Giants have played poorly, but it's not like Cleveland's played good because of it. I don't think the Giants regret it. I honestly don't. They might in the future, but right now I don't think they regret it. And Darius Slayton's been great. Yeah, good point there, Chad. Darius Slayton's been great. Darius Slayton has five times as many touchdowns as Odell Beckham. Maybe Odell Beckham misses Eli a little bit. I don't know. Maybe. He used to bitch about him all the time. There were several games where Eli Manning threw him 3 touchdowns. Now he's got 1 for the whole year. What's going on, Mr. Entertainer? It's been a minute. So, Jetcha, you never have to apologize, man. Thank you for being here, man. I do appreciate it. Do you think the Browns are a playoff team this year? No. They're 4-6. I know they got a soft schedule. They're not going to beat the Ravens, and I think they lose in Pittsburgh. I think they finish 8-8. Chris, do you think Judy is necessary at where they draft? No. I don't want Judy if the Giants are picking top 4. Nowhere near him. Let's go to Italy. I'll go to Italy right now. Can you read my previous? Kevin Cronin. What's going on, Kevin Cronin? I will try. There's a lot of people in here. I will try to scroll up real quick. If I don't see it, you're just going to have to type it again. I'm sorry if I'm missing questions. I can only get to. I try to answer them as well as I can. So, Kevin Cronin, can you? Yes, it twice. I can't scroll all the way up. I'll try to get to it. Just keep asking. Freddie Kitchens, yes, he is. Seems to great late draft pick by Gettleman. Darius Slayton is a beast. It was a steal. Him and Conley. Conley before the injury. They were both steals. Who do you got at the Super Bowl so far? When do you think we will be in talks for the Super Bowl? In 2 years? In a decade, Giants Pride says. I mean, my Super Bowl pick at the beginning of the year was Patriots-Packers. I'm sticking with it. Super Bowl, at least 2 years. At least. Probably 3. 2 or 3 years. Nick Young, man. Thank you. And what is going on, Whitney? Thank you for tuning into the stream. And Nick Young with the $5 super chat. Ben's the knee says Darius Slayton has more multiple touchdown games, too, than Odell has total touchdowns. Now, that's a stat for you. That's a stat for you, Nick Young. And a lot of them are long touchdowns. They're like 30, 40 yarders. He's been really, really impressive for the Giants. And thank you for the love, man. I think Remmers is gone. Remmers is gone. Afghanistan. Talk on CeeDee Lamb, not as early as we're going to be picking. If we were 9 or 10, I'd say, yeah, you could think about that. Not at 4, in my opinion. You never know. But I don't think so. Let's see what we got here. Benito Musto. Okay. Lozar. Rickson, man. Thank you for the love, man. Rickson's awesome, man. I got to get adjusted to your new profile picture. But with the $5 super chat, Benzanese says, I don't think Betcher's defense is a basic 3-4. Pay attention to that. He mostly goes 4-2, 5. He does. 3-4-4, confusing scheme. You're absolutely right, Rickson. I've mentioned that in a couple of my previous videos that you've seen early on in the season, I think there's more three-man fronts than there's been. He's certainly made an adjustment, probably since we got Leonard Williams, even a little bit before that, to having a four-man front. He doesn't play a 4-3, though. But, yes, we've had four men up at the line of scrimmage. At the Jet game, we had a four-man front the entire game. So, yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Good call. Let's see what we got here. Use all our draft picks on the O-line. We're not going to use all of them, Randy, but we'll definitely use a good amount. And let's see what we got here. Moose says, I would trade up in the second round to get CeeDee Lamb. He's not going to be there in the second round, Moose. Let's see what we got here. Do you think Sherman can do anything to redeem himself in this second half, or maybe even our offensive defensive coordinators? Yes, I think he could. Not fully. I mean, fans are still going to hate the guy. But if the Giants win 3 out of their last 6, they play tough. Yeah, he could build some confidence, and the organization could build some confidence in him. Yeah, I do. I do think that, yeah, I think we could end the season on a positive note like we did last year. We went 4-4 over our last 8 games. And we went into this season saying, you know what, we finished good, and maybe we could build off of that. We obviously didn't, but yeah, he could have a strong finish here. I've been a Daniel Jones fan since day one, but there are so many Daniel Jones bandwagons. How do you feel about that? I mean, at the end of the day, we're Giants fans. As soon as Daniel Jones, my reaction on draft night had nothing to do with Daniel Jones. It had everything to do with I wanted Josh Allen. But once a guy's a New York Giant, I'm a fan of that player. So I just think that's how all Giants fans are. You know, you should root for every one of the players to do well. I'm trying to be as realistic as I can be. I don't want to be one of these guys that's saying Daniel Jones is the best quarterback in football before he earns it, because I don't think he's earned it yet. But at the same time, when he plays well, I'm going to say it. And recently, outside of the fumbling problems, he's played well. He's got 9 touchdowns in his last 3 games. So, yeah, I like Daniel Jones. My Buckeyes produced the best play. Yes, the Buckeyes are the best team in the nation this year. Raphael, thank you so much, man, for the $2 super chat. You can forget about it. He says Baker doesn't even understand the guy's scheme. Baker is completely lost, and he is rated the worst cornerback. I couldn't believe it when I read it. 126 cornerbacks in football that are ranked by PFF right now. He ranks 126. He is the worst cornerback in football right now. That's how bad he's played. Malik Ahmed says, you think it's sad that Eli's retiring on a bad note? Well, he may not be retiring. Maybe, it's his last as a Giant, but he may not be retiring. Chicago Bears might get him. You never know. Let's see what we got here. Who is the biggest free agent the Giants should have their eyes on this upcoming offseason? I like Shepard a lot. That's probably the guy I like the most at the middle linebacker position. Yeah. Offensive line, people are going to say Conklin. I worry about the injury history, but it does take 2 years to fully recover from an ACL. That's what people will argue, and he's still young. Those are probably the 2 biggest names, in my opinion, that they could look at. And Ngakoue, if he's available. I don't know if he will be. Why did the Giants trade up for Baker? Well, they traded up for Baker because a lot of people thought he was the best cornerback in this year's draft. I loved Baker. I thought he was going to be good. He still might be good, but he's not good right now. Let's say something happens and we get Young, but also trade up in the first round and on the board is CeeDee Lamb or Acuna. People say he has Ramsey abilities. I don't want to trade up in the first round for a wide receiver. That's just me. I'm not going to cry about it if we do. I think we have more pressing needs on this team. If we trade up, I'd rather get an offensive lineman. Because in that scenario, Bavith, you're now going to ignore an offensive lineman until the 3rd round. Because the trade up, you're definitely giving up your 2nd round pick. You may even give up your 3rd round pick. So we're going to go 2 drafts now, basically ignoring the offensive line in the early rounds. In that scenario, if we got Young and then you're trading up to get a wide receiver. So I don't favor that scenario. We need the King Hellman back. No pick for a wide receiver in the first take. I don't want a wide receiver early in this year's draft. Yona just wrote LOL 10 times. Yona's going to get kicked out soon. And there he goes. Jet G. I'll try, man. I try my best. Let's see. Kevin Cronin, can you shout me out before your video tomorrow? I will, Kevin. I'll try. I'll try to remember. All right, there you go, Jet G. The reason I like Jerry Jeudy at 4 or 3 is because Golden Tate is 31 and Shep has a very rough year with injuries, and him and Slayton will for the future will be great. Yeah, I get it. I'm not going to cry if we get Jerry Jeudy. People compare him to Julio Jones. He's a generational talent at the wide receiver position. You're not going to see me crying. But you can't pass up Chase Young. A supreme pass rusher is much more important than a great wide receiver. It just is. You could argue pass rusher is the second most important position behind the quarterback. Left tackle, most people say, but pass rusher is very important. So, if you have an opportunity to get Chase Young, can't take Judy, in my opinion. It said we need so much because, who do you think is better, Baker Mayfield or Jones? Jones. Baker Mayfield's one of the worst quarterbacks in football this year. Jones is better right now. If we get pick 7 or 8 and Thomas and Young are gone, who would you like us to get? Depends who's there. If Judy's there at 7 or 8, I might take him. Depends who's there. I also like that pass rusher out of Penn State a lot. The names escape me right now, but I like it. Matos, I think it is. I like him. From some of the film I've seen, that's another guy if we're picking 8, 9, or 10. I don't think we're going to be picking there, though. 1 to 10, how bright's your Giants' future? Ask me that after this offseason. I need to see what they do in this offseason. Some mock drafts have the Giants taking CeeDee Lamb, Derek Brown at 3rd overall. They're crazy if they do that, Giants pride. Yeah, Matos. Yeah, I like Matos. Did you hear the ESPN stuff? I did not. Yo, Tana, it's not a call-in show. I'm doing a call-in show probably Saturday, Douglas. Probably Saturday, if I can. But tonight's just a Q&A. The higher the pick, the better the options are. Of course, Chen. Of course. It's common sense. When are you doing the Carlos Beltra? I'm hoping to get it done. I was busy after work today. I wanted to get that video done. I wanted to get the Giant video done. I'm hoping to get it done by tomorrow. We'll see if I have time. But definitely within the next few days. Chizol, thank you so much, man, for the $5 super chat. Bends the knees. He says, y'all saw the Giants game on Sunday, scored Giants 14 and bye week 27. And and if Chase Young is available, we better pick him up. Chizol, man, yeah, the Giants found a way to lose on the bye week. That's how bad they are. But yes, I'm with you. If Chase Young is there, you got to take him. And Whitney says, OBJ is not overrated. I look at football like relationships. Sometimes the wide receiver needs that one. Well, yeah, of course. OBJ is one of the most talented receivers in football, but you need a quarterback. That's why I don't think this is the way I look at wide receivers, Whitney. And Odell Beckham is phenomenal, but a great quarterback makes a wide receiver who's not phenomenal, phenomenal. And a bad quarterback makes a receiver who's phenomenal, okay. So that's why I don't put a lot of emphasis on the wide receiver position. It's important, don't get me wrong. OBJ has value, but it's not one of the 5 or 6 most important positions on a football team. That's why I wouldn't want to draft one early. But that's just my opinion. Do you think the Giants will sneak past the Bears on Sunday? I think it's possible, Sophia. I'm not going to pick it, but I think it's possible. And if you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell. What would you do if Gettleman drafts another D tackle? Don't do it. Don't do it. That would be a Daniel Jones-like blow-up. If they do that 3rd overall, don't do it. How do you feel about Dylan Moses in the 2nd? I'd be okay with that, you know. Yeah, I'd be okay with that. You know, right now, obviously, we're all fixated on the 1st round, but yes, he's a good 2nd-round prospect. What if you take Judy at like 5 and then trade up? It's possible. I really don't want Judy. I really don't want a receiver this year. We have too many other needs at more important positions. Giants are in a bad spot because if Shermer goes, then unless we want another shit coach, Gettleman has to... Exactly. Clown. That's what I've been saying for weeks. They're in a bad situation right now if you want to get rid of Shermer because it's not an attractive coaching position. It's just not. So a lot of people are like, fire, 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 fire. That's all well and good. Look at the Jets. Look who they ended up with because they said fire, 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 fire. And then all the good coaches were like, I'm not going there. And then they end up with Adam Gase. And now they're stuck with him for another year because they know nobody's going to want to come there in the current state. And the Giants, I think, would do the same thing to themselves if they fired Shermer this year. Leonard Williams wears sleeves to cover up his small arms. Lack of time in the weight room. Yeah, a lot of Jet fans do not like Leonard Williams. I've learned that. I've learned that. We'll see. You know, Leonard Williams, I thought, did a good job against you guys getting pressure. Couldn't close the deal, though. And, yeah, please thumbs up the stream. What is going on, Scottzilla? Will the 49ers win a playoff game? If they have home field, yes. They'll win one. They're not going to the Super Bowl. Who do you think will be the Towns head coach next? You mean the Giants, Nick? The Towns? The Giants, I think it'll be Shermer. I think he's staying. 4 heaviest quarterbacks in the NFL were expected to start at the start of the season. They are all not starting anymore. Cam Newton, Joe Flacco, Big Ben, and Andrew Luck. Well, there's the stat of the night. Way less than 240 pounds, or you do not remain in the NFL at the quarterback position. Good stat there, fun with education. Fuller says, would you want a classic old school coach or one of these young coaches? I just want a coach who wins. I think the Giants will go more traditional. I don't think they're going to go with like a McVay type. They don't seem to be the type of team that's going to go out there and get a college coach. I think they will go with more of the traditional, hard-nosed type of head coach, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. We'll see. I'd be okay with either one. I just want a good coach. Harbaugh's I love Harbaugh. I would love Harbaugh. I don't see it happening, but I would love him. No, I don't want any of the ex-Bengals coaches. Keep them away. What are your thoughts about the game yesterday? It was a good game. I obviously missed the first half because I was calling the Giants game. Phillip Rivers. I mean, I love Christian Orr, but Phillip Rivers is, wow. Bad. What are your thoughts on the Colin Kaepernick situation? I think that he's not going to be a Giant, Whitney. It doesn't make sense because we've got Daniel Jones. You don't want to put any pressure on the kid. It makes no sense to do it. I think somebody may give him an opportunity. Probably not, but it's possible. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I wish him the best. If somebody wants to take him on, then he has every right to play. If Michael Vick got an opportunity to play again, Colin Kaepernick should too, if a team wants him. So we'll see. Can you apply for Joe Buck's job, please? Oh, I would love to do that, Flawless. I meant the Browns head coach. I mean, obviously not Kitchens next year, right? No, I want nothing to do with Kitchens. Daniel Jones threw for 5 touchdowns. We lost 50-51 because DeAndre Baker wouldn't guard the wide receiver. Danny's Dime says. Slurpee, have a great night, man. Sophia says the Bears will not get Colin Kaepernick, and all Bears fans will be pissed. Like, really, they are playing with my feelings. I don't think the Bears are going to get Colin Kaepernick. I think if the Bears get a quarterback, they're going to get a veteran quarterback next year if they do. And it's either probably going to be Cam Newton or Eli Manning if they go after a veteran quarterback. Maybe a Minshew or a Foles, depending on who the Jaguars decide to go with. But I think they're going to try to bring in somebody with experience because they have an aged team that has a limited window. So I could see them going out there and trying to bring in a veteran quarterback. Spend all the picks on. I'm completely fine with O-line and D-line. Oh, Arturo, thank you so much, man, for the $2 super chat. You can't forget about Subtana. What OCs, DCs, or former coaches you want for head coach? My obvious guy, Harbaugh. That's the guy in a dream world of guys that are potentially available. Harbaugh. Everybody loves the defensive coordinator from the 49ers. That's a popular guy. He wasn't too successful last year, but, he's a rah-rah guy. He's in your face. So that's a guy you hear about. A lot of people like him as a head coach potential if the Giants decided to move on from Shermer this year. But Harbaugh would be my dream guy. Lincoln Riley, someone like that. He's a great offensive thinker. Would help a Daniel Jones. Someone like that in a dream scenario. But thanks again for the love, man. I really do appreciate it. What about Alex Smith to the Bears? That's a good one, Bobby. That's a good one. I think Chuck Sharch brought that up. If he's healthy, Alex Smith to the Bears makes a lot of sense because he's a game manager. He doesn't turn over the football, and you can rely on that defense. That's a great, great call there, Bobby. Yeah. Saleh. I think that's how you pronounce his name. The 49ers guy, yeah. Marcus Mariota's future, done. I don't like Mariota, never liked him. I always thought he was overrated. There's a reason they replaced him with Ryan Tannehill. He's done. But he's got like 1 year left, Brandon, right? 1 or 2 years. It's not like he has a lot left on that contract. I think he's got like 1 or 2 years left on that contract. Mike Tomlin for the Giants coach, yes or no, and why? I'd be fine with Tomlin as the Giants head coach. But why would the Steelers get rid of him? I mean, the Steelers are 5-5. They're staying relatively competitive with no Le'Veon Bell, with no Antonio Brown, with no Ben Roethlisberger. Why would they fire Tomlin? I know people have mentioned Tomlin, but I don't see why they would get rid of him. And what's going on, Jared Williams? Cam Newton stays in Carolina. He definitely could. Shout me out before your Met video or Giant video, okay? Just a reminder. Gotta go. All right, Kevin Cronin, have a great night. Why would YouTube block that out? Because he said shout me out? I don't get YouTube sometimes. Yeah, that's why I said maybe, yeah. Marcus and Winston are the top 1 and 2 worst quarterbacks. Both of them will not be starters next year. Douglas says the key to Lamar Jackson's success is multiple all-purpose tight ends plus Lamar's all-heart. Lamar Jackson's great. Lamar Jackson is phenomenal. I don't know if he's going to have long-term success, but he's a special talent, and I love watching him play. Yeah, he's a dual-threat quarterback. Look at all that money Nick Foles got, and he looks average to me. Nick Foles is average. He is average. He benefited from playing in a very friendly system to Nick Foles' skill set with Peterson, and he made a lot of money off of it. But Nick Foles fits better for the Eagles than Carson Wentz does. I'll say that. Lamar Jackson is done by 30 years old. Probably. And in terms of being an elite quarterback, I agree with. Once he loses that speed, he will not be the same. I'll agree with that. Have you ever tried to get on TV or radio? Because you can. Crispy, I would love that. I just started YouTube a year and a half ago. Did it for fun. I love sports. I like making people laugh. And then I took it a lot more seriously. So my eventual goal is to either, I'm never shy to say it. My eventual goal is to do this full time, whether it be on YouTube or whether it be off of YouTube, on a podcast or radio or TV, whatever. So, but I would be completely fine doing it on YouTube. I love YouTube. The thing I love about YouTube compared to an ESPN, a CBS Sports, a WFAN, you're not filtered. You say what you want. You say what you want to say. You don't got to worry about, I got to interview Odell Beckham next week. No. I could say what I want to say about that player. So that's what I love about YouTube. It's real. Owen, have a great night, man. What's going on, Dwayne Basco? What's going on, Vladimir Putin? Dilly. If you could make any Giants fan the new head coach, who would it be? Not a serious I'd make myself the next head coach. Belichick would return to the Giants to stick it to the Jets. I would love that. That would be amazing. I'd be watching you every day. I appreciate that, Malik Thompson. Thank you very much, man. If Gettleman loses Williams in the offseason, would that be the worst move from a GM? It would be a bad move. We'd get a supplemental pick probably a third-round supplemental pick that would recoup the third-round pick that we lost in the trade. But it would certainly be a bad move that we traded assets and then we lose the guy in the offseason. He would certainly be criticized for that. Top 3 wide receivers in the NFC East. Oh, man. I'm going to go to about 11, Nicky Sav. It's 9:47. I usually go about 2 hours. As long as there's people in here asking questions. Top 3. I got to go. You got to go Cooper 1, obviously. Nobody. I guess Jeffrey, you still got to respect. And Golden Tate's played really well, and McLaurin's really good on the Redskins. Those guys are up there for me, and Slayton's getting close. Those 3 are kind of in a fight right now, in my opinion, for that third spot. Sterling Shepard's always hurt. GQ Boys, thank you so much, man, for the $5 Super Chat. Benzanese, he says, do you watch The Coward Show on Fox Sports 1? If yes, what are your thoughts about his show? To be completely honest with you, I don't. I watch it occasionally. Colin Coward is very outspoken. He's entertaining. I'll be the first. I always say this and thank you again for the love, man. I always say this since being on YouTube. I don't watch ESPN. I don't watch Fox Sports. I watch other YouTubers. That's where I get my sports information. It's the truth. I never realized until I came on YouTube, because when I first started on YouTube, I did it for fun. I did it to make people laugh. It was a joke, and then I took it a lot more seriously. I never realized that YouTube was like you could really get sports information from YouTube until I started making videos on the platform. But yeah, I don't really look at Fox Sports, but Colin Coward is entertaining. He's definitely smart. Sometimes he's off the wall for me, but yeah, he's entertaining. Are you going to start a Patreon soon? People have asked me that, Flawless, and I never want to give the impression that I'm asking people for money. But people have asked me that because they said they'd rather support the channel through there than donating through YouTube. Not in the immediate future, but probably down the line at some point. If people want to do that, I'll post it. But I always want to give up the impression that I'm doing this because I love to do it. But I see a lot of YouTubers do that as they get bigger. So maybe down the line, but not right now. But down the line, possibly. Very true. I never watch it. Yeah, I don't watch it. Let's get this stream to 100 likes. Yeah, spike that like, guy. How many are we at? Let's spike that like. Is Kid Blue? What is going on, Kid Blue? Thank you for popping in the stream, my man. What do you think of Dylan? I have not done enough research on him, Big Booty. How about Rex Ryan as D coordinator? A lot of people love Rex Ryan, Luann. A lot of people love Rex Ryan coming to the Giants. He is brash. He is outspoken. As a D coordinator, sure. I don't think he would take the job. I think he'd want to be a head coach. What's going on, Logan? Thanks for popping into the stream. Do it because you love it doesn't mean you can't make it. Oh, exactly, Nick. Exactly. And I'm grateful to people who show the love to that donate and watch my videos. And I mean, yeah. I mean, without that, I could never do this full time. I'll be the first to tell you that. Obviously, video views you get paid, but I don't ask for it. I never want to seem like I'm begging for it. But yeah, down the line, that's something I would entertain. Yes, a lot of people, Rob. A lot of people are very high on him. I wouldn't be opposed to him. He's like that outspoken, brash, defensive-minded guy, kind of like a Singletary, who a lot of people like. A lot of people bring him up as well. I think Big Blue in the PA. I don't know if he's here tonight. I haven't seen him, but he brings him up a lot. I'd be completely fine with that. What's up, Ligma? Thanks for popping in, my man. We should trade for Patrick Mahomes. They're never gonna trade Patrick Mahomes. So you're a YouTube hooker. Yeah, I'm a YouTube hooker. Big Giants Blue. Yeah, that's what I am. I've been a Giants fan since I first saw them in the Super Bowl 42. Well, that's good, man. I've been a Giants fan since 96. 95, 96. Singletary, I want winners. Yeah, would you consider trading back in the draft if Chase Young is off the board? Yes. That would be my first option. That's what I would look to do. I charge $1,000 an hour. Bleed Giants Blue. Would you want or know McCarthy? Yes, I would take McCarthy as head coach. He's demonstrated his system is similar to the one that Shermer currently institutes. So, yeah, I would take McCarthy. I don't think it would mess with Daniel Jones too much. I don't think it would mess with his head too much. So, yes, I would take McCarthy as the Giants head coach. I think it would be a smooth transition if they made that move, actually. Would you hire Kaepernick? I have nothing against Kaepernick. I don't think he fits the Giants. It doesn't make any sense. If you brought in Kaepernick, you know as well as I do, because there's going to be a lot of people that are very pro-Kaepernick. He's a very influential type of player, like a Tim Tebow. And the second Daniel Jones has a bad game, they're going to be calling for Kaepernick to start. Just like what happened with the Jets with Tebow with Mark Sanchez. It makes no sense. It would cause too much drama. It makes no sense for the Giants to bring in Kaepernick. No sense whatsoever. Chris, I can't think of a question. Well, that's all right, Andy Garcia, man. Thank you for hanging out, buddy. If we have, I agree with that, clown. What's your preferred defensive scheme? 4-3. What's going on, John Gregory? Thank you for popping into the stream. Do you think Rivers should retire? I'm never. That's never for me to say when somebody should or shouldn't retire. But I mean, he looked bad last night. That's for damn sure. Sophisticated says these Dallas fans are crazy. I just got ganged up on because I called them a subpar division leading in poster team that can only beat crappy teams. Well, that's all facts. They play in the worst division in football and they beat up on some of the worst teams. And by the way, I don't know if I shouted him out. If you guys have not subscribed to Kid Blue, what are you waiting for? Kid's awesome. Love meeting him. Great Giants content creator. Go over there, check him out. Do you think the fullback position is just completely dead at this point in time? No. It's used much less than it used to be. But last year, when we brought in Penny as the lead blocker, you actually saw the Giants offense play a lot better. So no, I don't think they've utilized the fullback enough, actually, to be honest with you, this year. I like the CI formation. They don't use it enough. Is Seattle a legit playoff team? Yes, they're not a legit Super Bowl contender, but Russell Wilson makes them a legit playoff team. What is the plan for Eli? Eli's gone after this year, Reyes. And what's going on, Joe Mark? Thanks for popping in, my man. Eli's gone after this year. It doesn't make sense to bring him back, being that we already have Daniel Jones on the roster. Yeah, there's no way. He's not going to be back. This year made sense to mentor him, but he will not be back after this year. And once again, thank you guys for being here. If you haven't done so, please hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell. I appreciate everybody who has tuned in for the Q&A. Always love doing this with you guys. Why do some Giants fans think we should have drafted Darnold over Saquon? Quarterback over running back. Simple as that. Most people value the quarterback position much higher than any position, let alone a running back. So that's why. And a lot of people on draft night thought that Darnold was, an elite level talent. So that's the reason. Top 5 wide receivers. Off the top of my head, DeAndre Hopkins. I'll still put Beckham in the top 5. Julio Jones, Michael Thomas. Who am I forgetting? I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. I'm drawing a blank. Did I say Julio Jones? If I didn't, he's definitely in there. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. That's off the top of my head. Thoughts on Will Hernandez? Will Hernandez is very good at pass protection. He was a great pick by the Giants in the second round. And, yeah, I think he's a vital part of the future for this team. The Giants are strong at the guard position. Mike Evans. Forgot about Cooper's up there, too. Thank you, Rogue Dog, man. I appreciate the help. Tyreek Hill, too. He's had his injury problems, but he's up there as well. Let me see what we got here. I think I just missed a question there. Devontae Adams up there, too. Yep. Would you have done anything different in the last 2 drafts? Rafael Duna, based on the rumors that came out on draft night, if I'm being completely honest, if the Giants were offered 2 firsts, like what was published, and I don't know if that's the truth, by the Denver Broncos, I would have taken that deal. If that's the truth. I would have traded down in 2018. I wouldn't have taken Barkley. I would have traded down. Gotten 2 first-round picks. And that's coming from one of Saquon Barkley's biggest fans. Other than that, if I stayed at 2, I would have taken Saquon Barkley. And everybody knows, last draft, at 6, I'm taking Josh Allen. So, yes, if I'm being completely honest, I would have taken Josh Allen at 6. And at 17, on draft night, I would have went Montez Sweat, but I'm very happy with Dexter Lawrence. So, yeah, I would have went Josh Allen at 6 last year. But hopefully Daniel Jones works out, and he looks like he could. Let's see what we got here. Kevin Bill, Darnold will be better in the long run than Barkley, and Buffalo's quarterback Allen would have been a better pick. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if the Jets support him, and hopefully Saquon gets back to health. Chris, if we had Tunsil and Nelson over Jones and Saquon, do you think we would be further into the rebuild? Yes and no, Clocks. Yes and no. I'm going to tell you why. We would be further in the sense that the support system would be better. We would have a very good offensive lineman in a Tunsil or a Nelson. So you're saying Tunsil and Nelson. So they would have to trade for Tunsil. So by doing so, see, this is the problem with that hypothetical, Clocks. If you trade for Tunsil without a quarterback, you're giving up this year's first-round pick. So now this year, you're not going to have a quarterback. So you still have Eli for another year, right? Because you wouldn't have taken Daniel Jones. So if you wouldn't have taken Daniel Jones last year and you wanted to trade for Tunsil this year, you're not having a first-round pick in this year's draft. So that doesn't add up to me. How are you getting your quarterback? That doesn't add up to me. You could argue if we took Chubb or Nelson in the 2018 draft and Allen in this year's draft, the support system's further along, and then you have to hit on the quarterback in this year's draft. Nikki Savage says, did you see Mike Unice's last video on grading Gettleman? Yes, it was a very good video. All his videos are good. He's a great YouTuber. Is Barkley going to play for the Bears? Play against the Bears? From all accounts, he is, yes. Do you think the draft or free agency is more important to translate to the playoffs next year? Great question, Hot Take Hockey. And you got a great channel there. I had a great time in your stream earlier. I always say the draft's more important. Free agency is short-term fixes. Maybe for the immediate future, for 1 year, free agency may have more of an impact on next year's team in terms of being a potential playoff team. But long-term, for the next 5 years, the draft is much more important. So the draft is much more important. You have to hit on the draft, and you cannot sign bad contracts in free agency. Would you trade away Shepard in the offseason? Arturo says. Yeah, but you're not getting anything for him, so that's the problem. So no. Because what team is going to take him on with all those injury, the concussions, you know? So I'm always a proponent of not trading a player when they're at their lowest point. And that's where he is right now. Oh, man, thank you so much, man, for the $10 super chat, Just Me, man. Thank you very much, man. Stand up. He says, Indica or Sativa? Hold on one second. I want to answer that properly. Hold on. To be honest with you, I do not have an answer for that right now. Indica or Sativa? I'm assuming those are. That's marijuana. I don't smoke pot. I don't smoke the hashish, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. I'm like thinking of these guys like college prospects. I never heard of these guys. Indica or Sativa. Just me. I'm not I don't indulge in the Mary J. I'm not against anybody who does. I've partaken at sometimes in my life, but not in a while. I'm a cannoli guy. I'm a cannoli guy. Oh, man, you got me. That was good. Man. Thank you for the $10 super chat, man. I really appreciate that, man. Will you ever do a video with Mike Too Nice? Yes. I would. Yes, Crispy. I was actually trying to do a video with Mike Too Nice. I reached out to him to collab. He's one of the guys I respect most on the platform. Right now, his schedule does not match up with mine. He's going to school, and he doesn't get home till like midnight. So that's the problem. So he said next year, when he's done with school, we're going to have like a weekly thing, hopefully, or something where we collaborate. I don't know if it'll be weekly. I don't know if it'll be monthly, whatever, but we're going to work together. This year, it just didn't work out. Do a bit with Ron Effect. Doctor, I'd work with any Giants video maker. Ron Effect seems to be to himself, you know. But I'd work with him. I'd work with him if he wanted to work with me. I'd never say no to anybody. Do you need an agent? No, I don't know. I hope I get to that point where I need an agent. Clark says, Chris, if you could have Chubb or Nelson plus a draft pick and Allen over Jones, in which scenario do you like the rebuild better? Okay, I have Chubb or Nelson. So I get one or the other. We say I take Nelson plus a draft pick and Allen. So I get Nelson and Allen. What's the draft pick? What's the extra draft pick? That I don't get. Oh, you're saying from the trade down. So I traded down from 2 with Barkley. I take Nelson, and then I get two first in last year's draft. So then I would have been able to take, debatably, probably Daniel Jones if I wanted to, and still get Josh Allen, potentially, depending on what the first round pick was. It would have been the Broncos, probably 10th overall. In that scenario, I trade down to 5, which is why I said I would have done it in the scenario. I trade down from 2 to 5 with the Broncos. I get Nelson in the 2018 draft. I then get the 10th overall pick in last year's draft, which is where the Broncos were, and I keep the 7th. So I end up with, in that hypothetical scenario, because the Giants like Daniel Jones, Quentin Nelson or Bradley Chubb, Josh Allen, and Daniel Jones. I'm going with that scenario. In that hypothetical. Now, you can't live in hypotheticals, but I'm going with that scenario. Is Joe Montana a better GOAT than Tom Brady? That's very close. Both of them played in great systems that definitely helped them out. The West Coast offense for Joe Montana, Tom Brady with Bill Belichick. They're very comparable. I still got to go Brady because of the 6 championships. But it's very close. Very close. Yeah, it would be no Barkley then. Yes. Who would you want in free agency if Solder's gone? Well, Solder's not going to be. I don't think they're cutting Solder. It's a $13 million dead cap hit. But if they're going with an offensive lineman, you're looking at Costanzo from the Colts if he's available. You're looking at a Conklin. Those are the 2 biggest names at the tackle position. It's kind of thin when you look at the list. People still stress that Josh Allen. We have Dexter Lawrence. Well, yeah, but Josh Allen plays on the outside. They're different positions. But, in that hypothetical scenario, that's just a hypothetical. I'm completely fine with Saquon Barkley. I love Saquon Barkley. But if you're telling me I would have traded down from 2 to 5, got an extra first, I get to take Chubb or Nelson. So I get Nelson. I don't then, you know what I'm saying? I got Nelson. I got my 2 guards now. I got Nelson. I got Hernandez. And then in the next draft, I still get to take Daniel Jones and get Josh Allen. And I have the 17th pick because I traded Odell Beckham. So I still get Dexter Lawrence. In that scenario, I do it. That's just hypothetical, though. Oh, GQ Boys, thank you so much, man, for the $5 super chat. Bends the knees. He says, what are your thoughts on Nick Gates starting at right tackle for the remainder of the year? Listen, yeah, why not? See what we got. We got nothing to lose. Remmer sucks. So, yeah, I'm completely with that, GQ Boys. I am completely with that. Why not? We have to see what we got, at all the positions. That's why I'm excited to see what we've got with Love coming in now. See if he can play that safety spot. Maybe even give him some time at slot corner. Play Corey Ballantyne more at slot corner. We have to see what we got with the younger players so we can evaluate what we need to do in free agency and in the draft. Look at Baker with the best wide receiver and no O-line. He can't get a ball to him. Giants aren't a wide receiver away from winning a record. We need Hogmo. He's not a wide. Bavit, I'm with you, man. Did you think less of Joe Namath after he wore pantyhose on TV? Well, I wasn't alive for that. Joe Namath, everything you hear about Joe Namath was a phenomenal quarterback. Had great talent, but he had injury problems. Had he stayed healthy, he would have been one of the greatest of all time, but he didn't. Basically, we were screwed. Nick Sparrow says, let's see what we got. Who is the worst out of Solder, Remmers, Ogletree, Jenkins? I think Ogletree for sure. I'm actually going to go Solder because of the contract. Solder's making $20 million a year. He's under contract for another year, more than Ogletree and Jenkins. I would go Solder out of that bunch. But Ogletree's bad. Do you think Love will get more reps this week? Yes. He hasn't gotten any reps. So, yes, I think he's going to get the start. Arturo, I agree. Because of the injuries, he's the most overrated ever. Was you ever I was not, Corey Lewis. I was never in the military. I had a cousin in the Marines. I was not in the military. Chris, be the head coach for the Giants. Chris Leone. Sign me up, man. I'll do it. I promise. Love better start over Bethea. I'm with you. He's been getting the first team reps in the, he's been getting the first team reps from everything you've heard in practice this week. So, yeah, I'm completely with you. Why are we even playing Bethea at this point? He's 35 years old. He's not going to be a part of the future. Solder by far. Remmers and Ogletree can be cut after this year. No problem. Exactly, Javon. That's my take on it. Maybe not as a player, because Ogletree has been very underwhelming as well. But when you factor in the contract, you got to go Solder. Brady next year. What about Brady? He's not going to be a Giant if that's what you're asking. What year did you graduate? 2003. Nick Young. How is Peppers done? He's been up and down. The last 3 or 4 weeks, he's been very good. He's a hard hitter. He's definitely a guy that makes plays. He has a good nose for the ball. You could see the upside with Peppers. He gets lost in coverage sometimes, but I like Peppers. Chris, if you were rebuilding, wouldn't you draft offensive linemen before quarterback and running back? Running backs shelf life is 2.57. You can win with an average quarterback. This is true. I get your point. I completely get your point there, Clouds. Saquon Barkley was a special running back, though. He's not an ordinary running back. And I think if the Giants felt that Sam Darnold was a franchise quarterback, they would have taken him. And maybe the Giants are wrong. Maybe Sam Darnold will become a franchise quarterback. But I think that's the reason they went Barkley. They said, we've got a supremely talented kid here. We cannot pass on him. And I don't think they believed in any of the quarterbacks. That's why I think they made the decision they did. Peppers is okay. Jenkins is playing better. It's just Bethea. The rest of the secondary is abominable. Yes, it is. Let's see what we got here. Peppers reminds me a lot of Landon. I could see that a little bit. Should the Giants switch their defense to a 4-3 with it? Yeah, somebody asked me that earlier, Nick. They have a lot of guys that I think could translate into the 4-3. Dexter Lawrence, I think, would have no problem doing it. O'Shane Zimenez. So I could see them. Obviously, you'd have to fire Betcher, but I could see that happening this offseason for sure. The only guy you got to worry about is Lorenzo Carter. I don't know if he's built for the 4-3. Thoughts on the Astros cheating? I'm going to have a video up on that hopefully tomorrow. But obviously, if I'm the Major League Baseball, I take away draft picks and I fine them. Should we resign Golden? No. In my opinion, no. And a lot of Giants fans aren't going to want to hear that. But I don't think he's going to be worth the money that he's going to command. I would not re-sign Marcus Golden. Because he has an injury history, and I think he's going to cost a lot more than what the Giants should pay. I would pass on Marcus Golden. That's just me, though. I'm not gonna scream if they keep him. Plus, he's married to the Betcher system. So if you want to fire Betcher, Marcus Golden doesn't fit here anymore. We saw what Betcher did when we saw how Marcus Golden did in Arizona when Betcher left. The guy got 2 sacks. So he fits this system. So if you're a guy that wants to get rid of Betcher, doesn't really make sense to bring Golden back. I did hear about Mark Walton. Yes, I did. Is Tony Romo one of the greatest Yes. Tony Romo's phenomenal. Let's see what we got here. Listen, at the trade deadline, people were calling me crazy. I brought that up. I brought up that idea, and people said, are you nuts? Are you crazy? The guy's our best player. I said at the trade deadline, I would have looked into trading Marcus Golden. He's on a 1-year contract. You could always bring him back if you want to, and we could have got something for him. So, yeah, but we're not getting a 3rd-round pick for him now. Trade deadline's passed. I don't think we would have gotten a 3rd anyway, but we would have gotten something. What do you think of... Is Booger McFarland the worst commentator of all time? He's pretty bad. He's pretty bad. I like him, Big Booty Rashad. Not where we're going to be picking, though, probably. Do we draft a corner? Well, we basically just drafted 4 in last year's draft, right? We took Baker. We took Sam Beal when you factor in the supplemental pick. Julian Love and Valentine. We used a lot of picks last year on the corner spot. So you hope that those guys develop. I don't know, man. I would not use an early pick on a corner. I may sign a corner, depending on the price, depending on who's available. I don't think I would use a top 3 or 4 round pick on a cornerback. We've already used so many resources. Those guys have to mature and get better. Joe Buck or Chris Collinsworth. I hate Joe Buck. Is Monday Night Football more enjoyable to be watched on mute? Yes, because I call the game. Clocks, I hear you, man. So far, the quarterbacks the last 2 years have not jumped off the page. Daniel Jones looks promising at times. Murray looks promising at times. Mayfield looked promising last year. Darnold has spurts. Lamar Jackson is the best one, but we were never taking Lamar Jackson that early. So, I understand what you're saying there. Tane over the Monday night, I appreciate that. Oh, Malik Thompson, thank you so much, man, for the $1 super chat. Dribbling and bibbling. That's what I say when I get a $1 super chat. And if you watch my Nick streams, you know what I'm talking about. But I just want to say again, thank you guys for being the best supporters on YouTube. I try to say it as much as I can. Thank you guys for being here. And thank you guys for helping me grow my channel. You know, I love doing this. This is one of my favorite things to do every week. Just talk Giants football with you guys, man, for 2 hours. I mean, what's better than that? So, and then tomorrow night I'll be doing the same thing with Bad Dog on the channel. So that should be a lot of fun. You didn't put your question in. Well, go ahead, ask your question. I'll answer it, man. Oh, there it is. Actually, my father was on the Giants practice squad in 1989, and he met Lawrence Taylor and all the other Hall of Famers. So this team means so much for me, and we are all looking like the 70s Giants. The 1970s Giants was probably the darkest days since now. Now is probably the darkest days for the Giants. I mean, we've won, We won 5, and we've won 10 games in the last 3 years. So this is probably even worse than the 70s. But before this, 70s was the darkest time for the Giants. And it wasn't really until Lawrence Taylor where we started to turn that corner. And then, since then, we've been one of the better franchises. Would you spend a while? No, I would not, Arturo. There's too many holes on this team. The offensive line, defensive line, too many holes. If you can work with Bad Dog, you can work with anyone, Randy said. I appreciate that, Randy. Thoughts on my Colts so far? I didn't even know that you were a Colts fan, Arturo. But the Colts this year were a team a lot of people gave up on at the beginning of the year. I did not. Everybody said Andrew Luck goes down. They're done. They're finished. I looked at the Colts. I said, you still got a pretty good young defense. You've got the best offensive line in the sport, and you got a great head coach in Frank Reich. As long as the quarterback could step in and play well, which Brissett has, they could be competitive. And I went as far to say about 2 or 3 weeks ago, before the Brissett injury, that I thought the Colts were the Patriots' biggest threat. Now, I've changed my mind since then, and I'd say the Ravens. But the Colts are a dangerous team if they get in because they have the ability to control the clock with that offensive line. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on the Colts, if Brissett can continue to play well. Let's see. Give me your offseason signings right now, you little schmuck. Vimal Davis. Oh, okay. Okay. Depends on who's available. But, I mean, in a perfect world, I get Shepard, the middle linebacker, right? I get Costanzo, the left tackle from the Colts. In a perfect world. Are those guys going to be there? I don't know. Arturo, man, thank you so much, man, for the $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. He says, yeah, I live in Southern California and a Colts fan. I'm unique. Huh. Interesting. What made you, I'm guessing Peyton Manning or Andrew Luck? Oh, just, thank you so much, man, just me for the $5 super chat. Bends the knees. He says, eggplant, parmesan, or lasagna. You know I could talk food in my streams, okay, just me if you've been in them. And I used to, I'll tell you this right now. First off, I love lasagna. I used to despise eggplant, and I wouldn't even try it. Okay, when I was like a kid, when I was like 18, 19 years old, I looked at it, it looked mushy. I didn't like the name. I said I'm not even going to try it. But then when I had it, eggplant parmesan is phenomenal. That is a really tough choice. I'm a chicken parm guy first, but I think I'm going eggplant parm. But I love lasagna too. But I'll go eggplant parm. Great question. We should get Conklin. I like Conklin. I worry about the ACL injury, though. ACL injury. EDP's we got a lot of eggplants in there. How would you feel about Jerry Jeudy on the Giants? Depends where we pick. If we pick 7th or 8th, I'm all for it. Yeah, my first NFL game ever watched was a Colt game, and Peyton was playing. Well, there you go. Probably the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. In terms of pure talent, in terms of mind, was a phenomenal talent. Look into DeMarcus Robinson. He's in. Yes, I've heard about him. I've seen him, Nick Young. And he got off to a really good start for the Chiefs this year. And yeah, maybe a guy we could look at in free agency. Could you revert back to the call-in shows once in a while? Yes, Alex Sports. I was going to do it tonight, but I had to cancel the Q&A last week on Saturday because I had something come up. But yes, I'm going to do a call-in show next, I think Saturday. I'm going to try to do a call-in show. So hopefully Saturday. I know a lot of people are asking me to do the call-in show, so Saturday I'll try to do one. If I can. I don't want to guarantee that, but I'll try. Let's see what we got here. He was the second. Would you trade Engram or convert him to? If I keep him, he's staying at tight end. And I don't think they're going to trade him. I think if they were going to trade him, it would have been this year. If anything, they let him go and they get a supplemental pick for him after next year. So the Giants have a quarterback and a running back with no O-line. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. That's the problem. Do you watch Star Wars? Yes. Bleed Giants Blue likes to ask a lot of inappropriate questions. I will give this regime and Jones another year. If it fails, we blow the whole thing up. I don't want them to spend all their money in free agents. I'm with you, Kevin. I do not want to push it. I'm completely with you there. I hope we learned our lesson from 4 years ago, and we do not go all in on free agency on short-term solutions. I'm completely with you. If they're going to spend money in free agency, which I expect them to, I want them to spend it on young players and to fill in depth. I don't want you bringing in big-ticket guys that are 30 years old. I don't want you to do it. I'm not going to tell you my salary. I'm a very weird... Yeah, you seem very weird. Source Boy says, do you think Gronk will return to the Pats for the playoffs? No. What? Last Jedi was bad. It was the worst Star Wars movie to date. Is Frank Gore a beast, and why was Amendola traded? Amarola traded. Frank Gore's a Hall of Famer. He's one of those players that every year you think he's done, and then he keeps producing. He is one of those rare running backs that just keeps going and go. He's like the Energizer Bunny. You know, Frank Gore's phenomenal talent. Hall of Famer for sure. I think he's top 5 in rushing, if I'm not mistaken. Last comment, please. Chris, did you see AB try? Yes, I did see that. I'll try my best, Sam. Could you imagine a pass rush with Chase Young, Marcus Golden, and Leonard Williams, and have Sexy Dexy and Dalvin clogging the run? It would be phenomenal if we kept the 3-4 system. If we fire Betcher, Marcus Golden's not coming back. But if we kept the 3-4 system, that'd be nice. That'd be very nice. Chase Young turns this whole defense around. Now, I'm not saying it becomes an elite defense, but it certainly becomes respectable, I think, if we get Chase Young. What's going on, entertaining and bad dog fan? Thanks for popping in, my man. Zags or Spurs? Zags or are you talking about Gonzaga? Is that what you're talking about? I mean, that's who the Zags are, right? When you get a haircut, hopefully tomorrow, Chris Leon. Revenge of the Sith was the best. I did like Revenge of the Sith. Giants lose out and get deleted from the NFL. What's up, Yvonne, man? One of my OGs, man. Thanks for popping in, Yvonne, man. Been with me forever. The way they've been playing, I would not mind if they got deleted from the NFL. Yes, Randy, I did see AB's trying to get back with the NFL. I do not watch anime. The Giants need to rebuild the secondary, D-line, and O-line. I completely agree with that. No, not the best running back ever, but he's top 10. He's a compiler. He's a great running back. He's kind of like Curtis Martin. He was always consistent every year, and he played for a very long time. It pisses me off how every week Shermer says they'll fix their problems, and the same problems happen every game. Well, yeah, I think it pisses all of us off. He's talking about a special animal. Okay, I have no idea. Let's see what we got here. Rogue. He's talking to Rogue. LT is a top. Yes. LaDainian Tomlinson at 100. First off, or that's your first mistake. There's only one LT, okay? All right? Lawrence Taylor. But LaDainian Tomlinson, yeah, he's definitely a top 5 running back of all time. Yes, I do think that the Redskins get a higher pick than the Giants. Does Adrian Peterson land on a team next year? Probably. Thank you for popping back in, Asia. I do appreciate it. Let's see what we got. Who do you think is better, Franco Harris or Jalen Ramsey? That is one of the most random questions you could ever ask. One's a running back from the 70s. One plays currently. I didn't get to see Franco Harris. I've seen the highlights. He, of course, made the immaculate reception for the Steelers. I'll go Franco Harris. He won Super Bowls. He's in the Hall of Fame already. I'll go Franco Harris. That's one of the most random ones I've ever gotten. Would you rather Beckham or Brown? Beckham. Brown's a lunatic. He belongs in an insane asylum. No, they're not. They would never give Dez a chance. The Giants. Who will be the 2 teams in the Super Bowl? I'm sticking with my pick from the beginning of the year. Patriots, Packers. I'm sticking with it. How depressing are the Chargers? Oh, God. I feel Christian is one of my best subscribers, and he's a Chargers fan. I feel so bad for him. They had such high hopes coming into the year. Chris, if we had Eli, Josh Rosen, or Tannehill for peanuts, and Nelson or Chubb and Allen, all the picks the same, which is the better for rebuild? If we had Eli, Josh Rosen, or Tannehill. Okay, so let's just say we keep Eli, or whatever, and Nelson or Chubb and Allen. So we don't have Daniel Jones. We don't have Saquon Barkley. It's close, in my opinion. It's close. Because you still need that quarterback of the future. You still need that guy to replace Eli. So it's still close to me. Right now, at least we have the guy that we know we could build around going forward. What's going on, Pumpkin? Thank you for tuning in the stream. I have a PlayStation, Kid Blue. Oh, Jones has had a much better rookie year than Eli ever had. Daniel Jones. Here's a normal question. Do you think Gettleman trades up to get Young if the Redskins pick before us? It's going to be hard because I don't see anybody wanting to trade out of that spot because you got quarterbacks, teams that need quarterbacks, and the Redskins, if they want Young, they're just going to stay there. So it's going to be hard for the Giants to trade up. Oh, thank you so much, man. David Bigelow for the $2 super chat. You can forget about it. He says, are you and other YouTubers doing a game next year? Do you mean actually playing football? Because that sounds amazing. And thank you again for the love, David Bigelow. Great subscriber of mine. One thing I want to do, and I brought it to the attention of a few YouTubers, and we'll see if it happens. I'd also like to get some of my subscribers involved if they'd want to do it. I want to go to Vegas for the draft. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but it's something that I've brought up. I think it would be a cool thing to do. So maybe I'll be there. That's one thing I want to do. I know Philly 500 said he'd be interested. I think the Sports Fair is going, or is at least interested. So I brought it up to a few people. I think it would be a cool experience. Let's see what we got here. The 2008 Giants team was better than any 80s Giants team. Whoa! You mean the team where Burrs shot himself, Pumpkin? Probably. I mean, they were 11-1. They were phenomenal. We need a new Jalapeno is trash, CC think. There was a game, I think it was like 2 or 3 games ago, where they were getting, it looked like Jalapeno was just letting them go. He was just opening up the door. He just said, go ahead, every play. Jalapeno is not good. I agree with you. Well, Cox, for the simple reason that if Daniel Jones is an elite quarterback, which he may or may not be, I'm not saying he's going to be, but we don't know he won't be yet. And if Saquon Barkley stays healthy and becomes the next Barry Sanders, you could argue that's a better scenario. We have to wait and see how it plays out. But I get your perspective. Who's better, Frank Gore or Laquan Treadwell? Dan F., come on. Come on. Laquan Treadwell, he's one of the biggest busts. What was he, a first-round wide receiver for the Vikings? He sucks. Do you think the Redskins might draft a new quarterback? No. I think they give Haskins at least another year. Chris, you need to be the ref for the NFL so you can help the Giants win. I would love to be able to help the Giants win in any capacity. Saquon or McCaffrey? If Saquon's healthy, Saquon. Can the Giants make the playoffs at 8-8? No. They're done. OJ, did he? I'm getting random questions tonight. Did OJ do it? Yes, I think he did. I think he got away with murder. Okay? I think most people agree with that. It's unbelievable that Gettleman promised to fix the O-line, and he's failed in almost all attempts except Hernandez. Yeah, and Zeitler. Zeitler's been pretty good, but the tackles have been horrible, and Jalapeno sucks. What are your thoughts on Haskins speaking to his linemen? Big Cat Leo, I heard about that video. To be completely honest, I didn't get a chance to watch it. I heard that he called them out. I'll probably watch it after this, actually. I wanted to watch it. I didn't get an opportunity to. Yeah, I didn't hear the exact words that came out of his mouth. But I think it's probably just something that was taken out of context because he was mic'd up and they got it on camera. That type of thing probably happens a lot. That's without me seeing the video. But, I mean, the Redskins' offensive line is really bad. Cox misses the Chris. Hey, that was heat of the moment, Chris Cox. That was heat of the moment, Chris. That was instant reaction, Chris. I try to be patient and let things play out. You know, I try to be as fair as I can. Stand up, Madden Football. Thank you for tuning in to the stream. Fire Pat Shermer. Who are you going to replace him with? That's my first question. Who's out there that wants to come here? That's my first question to you. Anyone who wants to cut Hernandez is a fool. We would never cut Hernandez. Will Hernandez is decent, but that's not saying much on such a bad O-line. We're not cutting Hernandez. He's cost-effective, and he's above average offensive lineman. He asked the lineman what he can do to make them better. It was blown out of the water. Yeah, it was blown out of the water. Who do you think wins Thursday night, Colts or Texans? And if the Colts win, do you think they make the playoffs? Great question, Zach. That's a great game, by the way. And yes, if the Colts win, I think they will make the playoffs. I can't wait to call that game. That's a really good game. I'll be calling that game Thursday night. That's a really good game. There's a lot of good. The Packer 49er game is phenomenal on Sunday night. There's a lot of good primetime games this week. Who do you think has the top 5 offensive line in the league? Cameron. I mean, the Colts. I think the Raiders have a pretty good offensive line, if I remember correctly. The Cowboys have a really good offensive line. I'm trying to think who has. I mean, the Patriots always have an underrated offensive line. I'm trying to think of the others. Those are the teams that pop into my head. The Colts definitely have the best. What's going on, Anthony G? Thank you for popping in the stream. Ravens have a good offensive line. Good call, Fred Silva. Who do I want in the draft? I mean, Chase Young. Steelers have a good offensive line, too. You know, you saw Le'Veon Bell get to wait behind that offensive line for years. Yeah, Myles Garrett assaulted. Yeah, God. Don't even get me into that situation. Do you think we should trade Evan Engram? A lot of people have asked me that tonight, Kyle Petrano. What are you going to get for him? You know, You're probably going to get a supplemental pick if you let him walk anyway, much like we did with Landon Collins. Chris, did you know the 86 Giants Sims completed? Yes, I did. 55%, 20 with the QB is overrated. O-line D. That's also a different time, though, Clocks. I mean, back then it was not uncommon for a quarterback to throw more picks than than touchdowns. But yeah, Sims was not a great quarterback. He was a good quarterback. You don't need a great quarterback to win Super Bowls. I know that. Do you think the Cowboys are going to fire Jason Garrett? If they do not get to the divisional round, there's a very good chance that they do. I still don't understand why we traded a third for Leonard. He has been an upgrade over B.J. Hill, but we are really going to pay him $50 million a year and be happy with that decision. It's definitely a questionable move. I think that is fair to question that move. You know, I like Leonard Williams. I think he was a good pickup. I think he fits the defense well. But we could have signed him in free agency. Maybe the Giants think they get a discount because they brought him here. You could certainly question the move. Gettleman should have traded Engram and kept OBJ. Yeah, but you're not getting. The problem with that is they traded OBJ for a reason. We know the reason. I'm not going to keep going over it. Engram was not a locker room distraction, and you weren't going to get anything for Engram going into the year this year. You just weren't. Not anything that was worth much. Let's see what we got here. Chris, I'm still surprised how we went 11-5-2. The defense, and we played a soft schedule. I'm tired of getting the division around. Cowboys need to get to the championship game. I agree, Mark. I completely agree with that. If I'm a Cowboys fan, if they do not get to the championship game, I want him fired. He may be back if you get to the divisional round. But I think he needs to get to at least the divisional round to have a chance to retain his job. Do you think Dave Gettleman should cut Dennis? Like, Big Booty Rashad, are you, like, trying to make me look stupid? Like, do you think I don't realize that Dennis Smith Jr. plays point guard for the Knicks, and you're asking me what the Giants general manager should do? I mean, what are you doing? Are you trying to make me look stupid? Yeah. I think that Dave Gettleman should cut Dennis Smith Jr. from the Knicks. I think he should go over to Madison Square Garden and he should cut Dennis Smith Jr. I think that would be a really good decision. Yeah, I think that's what they should do. I think that should be Gettleman's first move this offseason. I think that's a really good decision. Yeah, I think that would be a really good decision. I am from Long Island, actually, Adam. Yeah, I think that would be a really, really smart choice. Yeah. But once again, thank you to everybody for being here. If you haven't done so, please hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell. Does Shepard retire with his concussions? Would it be a big hit? Totally understandable. I would not be against him retiring at this point. He suffered 2 really bad concussions. And he had 5 when he was in college. I don't think he's going to retire, and I don't think it would be a big hit because you'd have $12 million more in the salary cap. You could bring in a wide receiver, and you have Darius Slayton. They'd be able to sign somebody in free agency, or they could draft someone early in the draft. So I don't think it would be as big of a hit as some people may think. Love over Baker for the rest of the season. I think Love is going to play safety. I don't think he's going to play corner. I think they're both going to be out there. Do you think there's any chance Gettleman trades down? Yeah, I think there's always a chance. It depends on the offer. My social studies teacher is a Dolphins fan, and we lose. Oh my God, just a moment says, yeah. You think the Cowboys upset the Patriots? Brady looking bad? No, I don't think the Cowboys are that good. They have not beaten anybody of note so far this year. So no, I think the Patriots will handle them at home. Does Jones give the Bears an easy touchdown this week? What? Jones will score. I don't know. Will he score a touchdown against the Bears? Is that what you're asking? Hopefully. For a rebuild, what do you think is more important? Drafting guys, protecting the quarterback, and rushing? I mean, Cox, I'm kind of with you on that. I do like to build a foundation before I bring in the quarterback, if that's what you're getting at. Yes, I think for Will Hernandez is a great fantasy player, Mage. Would you try Eli Manning in the slot? Yeah, Dan F. I think we got really smart guys in here. Yeah, I think Eli Manning would be great in the slot. Yeah, that's the best question of the night. Somebody give him a cookie. Dan F deserves a cookie. Give him a pat on the head. I just think they're trolls. I just think they're trolls. Top 3 least favorite fan bases. Eagles. I mean, I'm a Giants fan, so I'm going to say Eagles. I'm going to say Cowboys, and I'll go Raiders. Will Mack look like a beast this next game? The Giants have a tendency of having opponents shine. Yep, he's going to, especially with our banged-up offensive line. I think Khalil Mack has at least a sack or two against the Giants, and he's going to get pressure all game long. And I worry about Daniel Jones fumbling the football. It's going to be a big problem this week. Yeah, what the heck, Chris? Glad I stopped in late tonight. What's going on, Anthony G? Thank you for popping into the stream, my man. What's going on, Q Dog? How you been, my man? David Bigelow says, call the insane asylum. You found their missing patients. Well, you get trolls. You get trolls in these streams. Clock says, Chris, if you think that way, how can you be pro elephant fart smell? Yeah. Well, I think Gettleman tried to establish the foundation, right? He did draft Will Hernandez. He did sign Nate Solder. Nate Solder didn't work out. He was supposed to. So I do think he tried to establish the foundation before bringing Daniel Jones in. Just because it didn't work out doesn't mean he didn't attempt to do it. He did sign the best left tackle on the open market. He did invest an early second-round pick on a guard. He did trade for one of the top 5 or 6 guards in football at the time in Kevin Zeitler. So it's not like Dave Gettleman did not try to establish that foundation. He also inherited a horrible defense. It could not be fixed overnight. So I don't think Dave Gettleman ignored the foundation. Some of his moves may have not worked. And Nate Solder, for example. But I don't think he ignored the foundation before bringing Daniel Jones in. Colts or Texans? I'm going Colts. I think they're a better football team. Packers or yeah, that's definitely the game of the week. I'd like to see Daniel Jones take less hits. He needs much. I agree with you. The Giants need to spend a lot of time and money on the offensive line this offseason. I agree with you. Should we build O-line in free agency and defense in the draft, or the other way around? Depends where we're picking. If Andrew Thomas is the likely guy, maybe you go with the defense. And it depends. What they deem is if they feel like they have a better chance to get an impact defensive player in free agency, then you go the other route. Depends. Get an Xbox Play. I have a PlayStation right now. That is something I will add to the channel at some point. I did do it a couple of times. At some point, I will play Madden on the channel. Not consistently, but a special thing. Maybe once a month, eventually. I will do that. I'll play against the subscriber every now and again. That's something I will do. But I have PlayStation. In your opinion, what position are the Giants going to draft first? Big Cat Leo, I think the Giants edge rusher if they're picking in the top 3, and offensive tackle if they're not. Depends where they're picking. Cowboys are going to win the East. I picked the Cowboys at the beginning of the year. I'm sticking with it. I don't believe in either team at this point. I believed in the Cowboys at the beginning of the year. I think the Cowboys are good. I don't think they're great. And I don't think the Eagles are that good. I thought the Eagles were overrated from the start of the season. I could not believe that people were projecting them to win 13 games. The Cowboys are the best team in the worst division in football. That's my take on it. But Chris, how do you take Saquon over Quentin or Chubb then? Well, like I said, he thought he was a generational talent. And sometimes when there's a generational talent, regardless of the position, if you think he's that special, he felt like he couldn't pass up on him. And he said to himself, I already got Nate Solder. I'm going to be able to get Will Hernandez. He, of course, thought Nate Solder was going to be an above-average left tackle. Didn't work out. New Jersey Jake in the house. He said, how can a bunch of people on YouTube see all the issues with the team, but professionals who get paid the big bucks can't? It's a great question, Jake. That's the best question of the night. Are there any good linebackers in the draft class? Yes, but not like last draft. It's not. There was a lot. There was better middle linebackers in last year's draft class. Most middle linebackers in this class are projected to go late first round. You, of course, had, what's his name? White, right? Went 5th overall. And then there was a couple. I think there was 2 or 3 middle linebackers went in the first round this year. Not as strong this year in the middle linebacker position. You think changing their defensive scheme would make an impact? Probably not. I think it still comes down to personnel. If you don't have the players, you're not going to have a good defense. I don't care what scheme you run. And they're young. I'm not saying they can't become good players, but they're young. They have to continue to mature. Matt Ruley is a guy that a lot of Jets fans wanted last year. He's an interesting option there out of college. Any news on Engram playing this weekend? Got him on my fantasy. Last I read, he might play, Mark. Nothing's definitive yet, but it looks like he might play. Who do you think will replace Shermer? AJJ. I don't think he's getting replaced this year. That's my take. Do you think the Giants should sign Antonio Brown if the Chargers... They're not going to. The Giants would never sign Antonio Brown. They just won't. Nor should they. He's crazy at this point. Do I think DeAndre Baker's a bust? I think he's trending that way, but it's way too early to say that. I mean, cornerbacks are behind quarterback. Cornerback is the second hardest position to learn in the NFL. Behind the quarterback. So, I think we got to give him another year, but he's certainly trending that way. What's going on, Asia? Thanks for popping back in. Who's better, Stephon Diggs or Adam Thielen? Different types of wide receivers, completely different. They're both great. I'll go Diggs, but it's really close. They're both great. Who do you replace Betcher with? Oh, man. That's something I have not given any thought to. I have no idea because more than likely if you're bringing in another defensive coordinator, he's not going to want to make a lateral move. He'd want to become a head coach. So you're more than likely going to have to promote somebody to DC from another team. Maybe you get another DC. It's possible. I have not given it any thought as to who I would bring in as the DC. A lot of people love the Niners guy, but I think he'd want a head coaching job. I don't think he's leaving San Francisco to take the defensive coordinator position for the Giants unless he was told you're more than likely going to take over for Pat Shurmur if we continue to struggle. I suppose that's a possibility, but I haven't given it much thought. But somebody who runs the 4-3, if they want to make that change, that's for sure. If Andrew Luck was still playing, do you think we are a Super Bowl team? You're up there. I don't know if you're a Super Bowl team, but you're up there. You're definitely in contention. I mean, a lot of people had the Colts going to the Super Bowl before Andrew Luck retired. Do you think Belichick leaves if Brady... Blah, blah, blah. See, okay, Justin Roman. One thing I've always wanted to see the Patriots do was Belichick to retire. Was for Brady to retire. Because I was always a guy that thought Belichick had as much or more to do with the Patriots' success than Tom Brady. I've always been one of those guys, and I always wanted to see what Belichick could do without Brady. So I hope Brady retires before Belichick does. Because I'd like to find out if Belichick was the real reason why that team won. I don't know if that'll happen. Do you think Luck ever comes back to the NFL? No. Probably not. Chris, I officially challenge you to a YouTube boxing match. Nick Young, I didn't know. Do you have a YouTube channel? Let's do it. Let's do it. Would you draft O-line in the first round or the second round? Yes. Yes and yes. Yeah, depending on the situation. I might do it in both. Agreed. Pats 11-5. Yeah, exactly. I always say this. I get into debates all the time. It is impossible to win a Brady debate, by the way. Because people are always going to revert back to the Super Bowls. They're going to say 6 Super Bowls. I win. Brady's the best. Game over. It's over. All right. All right. What did the Colts do when Peyton Manning went down? How many games they win? What, they win 1? 2? How many games they win when Brady goes down? Castle goes 11-5. Brissett, I think, went 3-1. Garoppolo went like 3-1 or 4-0. Who was more important to their team? You could certainly make the argument that Peyton Manning was. Is Barkley a Giant his whole career? I hope so. I love Saquon Barkley. JJ Trilla, you're a lunatic. Do you think Cam Newton's going to the Bears? I think it's possible. A lot of people point to that. You should play Bad Dog. I would do that. I don't think Bad Dog has a PlayStation 4, though. Amari Cooper, not better than Jerry Rice. Yeah, not even close, Big Cat Leo. The last time the Giants were good was when we had a good defense. Yeah, of course. I mean, the last time we made the playoffs when we had arguably the top 5 defense in football that year. Man, I guess I was wrong with you. Clocks, I thought it was a mistake, if I'm being honest, but it was not. That guy, right now, Russell Wilson is the MVP of the league. You know, he's the MVP of the league. Do the Bears sign Teddy Bridgewater? If he's available, I could see him sticking on with the Saints. Breeze might retire next year, and if he doesn't, he may be promised he's going to get the starting gig the next year. So we'll see what Bridgewater does. Does he hit the open market? I don't play a lot of video games, but if I do, it'll be a sports game like a Madden or a 2K, NBA 2K. No, I don't think Lamar wins MVP. I think Russell Wilson's going to win the MVP. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Pumpkin. A lot of people ask me about Von Miller. Von Miller is phenomenal, but he's 31 years old. I'm not giving him a 4-year contract, and that's what he's going to want, and he deserves it. I mean, Von Miller is one of the best edge rushers ever, but I'm not giving it to him. That would be a bad move by the Giants. You got it. Yeah, God of War. A lot of people like God of War. What would your thoughts be if somehow we got Lamar Jackson? It will never happen. Never happen. They're not letting him go. Brady throws dump passes, and when he chucked it, he used to always get pass interference calls, so definitely believe Belichick is the Pats' team's success. Yeah, I think Belichick deserves more credit than a lot of people give him. Does Martha Ford clean house in Detroit this offseason? I mean, I'm not a Lions fan. Lions are disappointing this year. I don't know Stafford's contract situation. I know he signed at the time when he signed it, I think it was 2 years ago, he was the highest paid quarterback in the sport, which is common when an upper echelon quarterback signs an extension. I don't know how many years left on his contract. It's possible. It's definitely possible. Darnold right now, Danny can easily surpass him. You talking about Danny or Darnold? Yeah, right now I'd still go Darnold. Darnold's supporting cast is awful with the Jets, but Daniel Jones could certainly be a better quarterback. Would you ring my bell? Where do you see AJ Green getting? Well, he's not going to get traded. He's a free agent, and hopefully not the Giants. He's old. He's like 34. Chris, that Sandler sports movie Uncut Gems got huge reviews. I saw that. That was I just went to see Terminator last week, and that was playing in the theater. The other movie that came out was The Irishman. That's coming out on Netflix Thanksgiving Eve. I cannot wait to see that. I'm a huge De Niro fan and Pesci fan. So that's going to be on Netflix Thanksgiving Eve. It's actually out in theaters right now, but I'm going to wait till the 27th. Oh, Danny Thomas, man, thank you so much, man, for the love. $5 super chat. Bends the knees. Thank you for all the love and the support, man. He says, what is your thoughts on improving the defense? What would you do to fix it? My thoughts on improving the defense, what would I do to fix it? Pass rusher. If you get a premier pass rusher in free agency that's young, like an Ngakoue, you do it. Chase Young, obviously, they need that pass rusher. First and foremost, you saw what happened in San Francisco this year. They get Bosa. They get Ford in free agency, and that revolutionized the defense. So the first area, they need a pass rusher. They also could use some help at the safety, and they need a middle linebacker. Those are the three areas of need for me. Is Ryan Conley back? I don't know. But Conley looked promising, but we don't know what we're going to get from him. They need a middle linebacker. They need a safety, and they need an edge rusher. Those are the three biggest needs for me for the Giants. I think the defensive line is pretty strong in the middle, but they need an edge rusher. Rudy T, yeah, linebackers multiple. Rudy T, my man. What's going on, buddy? We need to sign a veteran quarterback to teach DeAndre Baker. We have one in Janoris Jenkins, but he's not teaching him very well. Imagine Tana's Thanksgiving table with a turkey and I do have baked ziti on Thanksgiving. That's true. Maybe I'll take a picture of the food on Thanksgiving for you guys. Put it on the community post. I already plan on making a thank you video on Thanksgiving or the day before. So look for that out on the channel. I'm going to have like a thank you video just to all my supporters and subscribers. So I will have that up on the channel. Would you put O-line preference over the defense upgrades? I think it's about even, but I think it's imperative to really improve that offensive line with a young quarterback. And they need to establish the ground game with Saquon Barkley. My brother has Disney Plus, and he's giving it to me. So technically, yes. If you have to pick a Super Bowl winner right now, who you got? It's hard to pick against the Patriots still. But the Packers are in there, the Ravens are in there, the Saints are in there. Those would be my 4 contenders right now. Do you think if Pat Shurmur is fired, they hire him in staff? No, that never happens. But I'd be for that. What it do, my man? What's going on, Kashendra Ramrup? Thanks for popping in, my man. Did you ever check Corey? The Instagram. I don't know what it is on my phone. It's not loading. But if you have Twitter, you can message me on there. My Twitter's in the link in the description below, so you can message me on there, or you can just join the Discord. I don't know if somebody's in here still. They could post the Discord for him, but you can join the Discord too. Have you ever met Barkley? No. That would be amazing if I got to. Not saying it's likely if the Giants won out. What would your thoughts be on the team? If the Giants went 8-8, I mean, yeah, it would be a very promising finish because that would mean that you beat the Bears on the road, you beat the Eagles twice, and you beat the Packers. So, yeah, I'd have a much different thought going into next season if the Giants were able to win out than I have right now. I don't see it happening, though. Oh, you get a lot of dislikes in these streams. You get people that come in and you get trolls. You get trolls. I'd like to meet Barkley's girl. I think we all would. Dexter Lawrence has exceeded. Yes, Dexter Lawrence has been the Giants' best rookie. Thick. Been the Giants' best rookie this year. Clowney and Chase Young, that would be amazing. Oh God, could you imagine? Clowney's not leaving Seattle though. I don't think. I think he's going to stay with Seattle. They'll sign him to an extension. But that would be amazing. Barkley's thighs give you nightmares. Well, I think they give opposing defenses nightmares too. You just got to stay healthy. But guys, it is 10:51, so go ahead and shout. I'll stick around for about 5-10 more minutes. Go ahead and shout out your last questions, and then we're gonna call it a night. I always love doing these Q&As. I'm gonna make this a regular thing on Tuesdays, and obviously in the off season, this is gonna be awesome because we're gonna have a lot of free agent talk, a lot of draft talk, things of that nature. So I cannot wait to keep this up through the offseason and answer your guys' questions as I get more offseason coverage up on the channel, whether it be videos about free agency, whether it be videos about mock drafts, guys that I think we should draft in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th round. So, yeah, should be a lot of fun in the offseason. I'm really looking forward to it. Happy birthday to you, Madden Football. Thank you for tuning in the stream. What's going on, Noah Kale? Thanks for popping in, man. I do appreciate it. Is it fair to judge the coaching staff on how prepared we are after the bye? Real New York Giants Mafia in the house. What's going on, my man? Yeah, I mean, the coaching staff sucks, man. I think it's fair to judge them now. They've been bad. They've got young talent, but they've not done a good job. Pat Shurmur's in-game decision-making has been horrendous. My only worry is, are we going to get another lame duck coach? That's my only worry if you fire Pat Shurmur. But, yeah, I mean, they should come out more prepared out of the bye. They had an extra week. So, yeah, it's fair. Marcus Golden deserves a contract extension. If we stay with the 3-4, sure. If we don't, it doesn't make sense to keep him. Marcus Young and Chase Young, or Shaq Barrett and Chase Young? Probably Shaq Barrett. He doesn't have the injury history, the same injury history of Marcus Golden. If it's the same price, definitely Shaq Barrett. Chris, when are we fighting? I need at least 6 months to meet in the middle weight-wise. All right, we will fight a year from today, Nick Young. You're on. Is it the coach's fault we come out down by 14? Definitely it has to be partially. The coach have to be somewhat responsible for that. The defense certainly is inexperienced. They come out flat every week. I think it's probably half and half. Half on the players, half on the coaches. You have to expect the rookies to struggle, the young players, right? But you got to take everything into account, right? You can't fully blame the coaches, but they definitely have a hand in it. You the man. Hopefully see you at another home game. Thanks for the cue. Oh, you got it, man. Elvis Hernandez, man. Thanks for being here, buddy. Yeah. I plan on going to at least one Giants game a year going forward and hopefully getting to meet more subscribers next time. And I want to do more meetups, too. I've been talking about that. I want to try to do a meetup during the NFL playoffs for, like, the wild card round, on a day that works for everybody. I would love to do that. Just got to set the place and see if there's interest. But if there is, I would love to do it. Giants' number one target in free agency. It depends on who's available, man. Probably offensive line. Probably an offensive lineman, a Conklin or a Costanzo. Someone like that. Probably. Why does Bad Dog dislike Josh Allen? Because he's an inaccurate quarterback, probably. You should do the Dolphins game. Tickets are cheap. Oh, Giants Dolphins? Yeah, no, I think I did my Giants game for the year this year, but next year. I was talking about more next year. I don't want to. I mean, it's a meaningless game at this point. You know, I'd rather go to a game that means something. Let's see what we got here. DeAndre Baker looks like a bust to me because he never plays the ball. He has never. Listen, there's definitely reasons to be concerned about DeAndre Baker. I think we need to give him another year, but there's definitely reasons to be concerned. Chris, if you end up going to the draft, let me know. It's only a 3-hour drive for me, and I was planning on going also. Rudy T, man, I'm not going to say I'm definitely going, but I'm definitely open to doing it. I'm at least 50-50 on going. I'm leaning more towards wanting to go. I really hope we get, and I will definitely let you know, I really hope we get that wide receiver, whatever his name is, instead of Chase Young. Really? Why? Why would you want a wide receiver over an elite pass rusher? Is Shepard's career in jeopardy? It could be. Go to Miami to the Super Bowl to do the Super Bowl. My God, I got to start a GoFundMe for that. What is it, like $5,000 to go to a Super Bowl game? Baker's playing out of position from what his strength is. I agree. He's not a zone corner. Somebody brought up. I forgot who it was. Was it Asamoah? I forget who it was. But there was a great cover corner, and they transitioned him to zone, and he struggled. And right now Baker's not playing to his strengths. But I mean, he gets lost no matter what. I mean, he's been really bad. Trisha, man, you have a great night, man. Thank you for being here. We need O-line or we need both. Listen, Josh Allen has a cannon. He's just got to work on the accuracy. But when you watch him play, the ball zips. If we traded Saquon, what do you think the possible return would be? Pray to God we don't. He's got to be healthy. If he's fully healthy, first-round pick. Maybe similar to what you got for Beckham. Something along those lines. You should rent the place for the draft to hang out. I would love to do that. I would love to do that. If we could plan it, I would love to do that. Madden, you have a great night, my man. Jones, our quarterback of the future. He better be. We took him 6th overall. Is talent overrated? Chip Kelly. What's going on, Chip Kelly? Is talent overrated? Are you saying is the quarterback position overrated? I think it is. I think people overrate the quarterback position. I think it's incredibly important. I think it's the most important position. But I think a lot of people overrate it. Trafficy, I am closing out in 3 minutes. But I appreciate you for popping in. If you want to trade Barkley, go jump off the tallest building you can find. We ain't trading Barkley, real New York Giants Mafia. He's a true Giant. He's a true leader. We are not trading him. We need Baker to coach better. He'll bust if he doesn't get help. Yeah, I agree with that. Can we beat the Dolphins? I hope so. We're at home. We should beat the Dolphins at home, but we should have beat the Jets, and we didn't. So we certainly could lose. That's a game that could go either way. Am I a good dancer? No. I'm a much better singer. What's going on, Angel Lopez? If we get rid of Shermer, do we get rid of DJ as well? No, we're not getting rid of DJ. We spent the 6th overall pick on him. We're not getting rid of him. All the mock drafts have us drafting wide receiver. Why? We better not. It's all going to depend on where we pick, though. Chip Kelly says, my wife will play all. Chip Kelly's got a big wife. You hope I'm a good buy. All right, man. I'll see you out. I'll see you in the ring, buddy. I'm going to head out. Great content as always. And yes, man. Yes, man. You got it, man. Thank you for popping in. I am closing this out anyway in a minute. Yeah. I just want to say, Julian Love's going to start. Julian Love will start at the safety. That's what it looks like. Chris, what you said earlier is that 100% true that Denver offered it. It's not 100% true. It's a rumor. But if it's true, he should have taken that deal. It's a rumor. It's not confirmed. And sub for the Chargers, go bankrupt. Chris Tenoy, thanks for popping back in. But thank you guys for being here. Love the stuff. Keep up the great work. I really appreciate that, Daniel Fernandez. Thank you guys for being here. I do appreciate all the love and all the support. If you had to redo the draft, would you take Saquon or Lamar Jackson? Saquon. We were never taking Lamar Jackson that early. Oh, NYG31, thank you so much, man, for the $1 super chat. Dribbling and Bibbling. I'm an Eagles fan, and I believe the Giants will beat the Eagles. Book it. They certainly could, Chip Kelly. Eagles are kind of eh. I appreciate that, Raphael, doing it. Thank you to everybody who showed support, who came into the stream. Had a lot of fun tonight doing the Q&A. Nothing to apologize about, Anthony G, man. Nothing to apologize. But I'm going to be doing these every Tuesday around 8:30, 9 o'clock for about 2 hours, and it's 11. We started at 8:45, so we went 15 minutes over. Thank you guys for being a part of it. Thank you guys for showing all the support that you guys do. I have a lot of fun doing this. And tomorrow night, Talking Giants will be on the channel, so hopefully you come back for that. Bad Dog will be on, and then, of course, we'll be live streaming the Giants game this week. So hopefully we get a win, and hopefully the Giants continue to show some progress. We've needed offensive line forever. Have a great night, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in the stream. I appreciate all the love and the support, guys.